Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, my little Tattle Tells. Welcome for a special, I guess, late edition of we're doing a recap.
Welcome back to my
And
channel.
it is late. I'm glad to see you guys. I hope everybody's doing good. Who's in the chat? We have two special guests. As you guys know, we have not paid by Mariam. I'm not paid by Mariam. Not paid by anyone, aka Mariam. And we also, of course, have AlexSalter TV. If you guys have not checked out Mariam's Instagram, make sure you follow her. I'm going to put the link in the bio and the comments. And of course, follow Alex on Instagram. And he does amazing recaps of all the housewives. So it's AlexSalter, SALTER TV, whatever. I'll put a link down there in the bio and in the comments. Alex is amazing. He does amazing recaps. Really, really funny. And honestly, we came up in these YouTube streets together. I think Alex actually might have had a channel before I did, but just by like a week or two. But he's definitely doing this damn thing. He just celebrated 5,000 users. And of course, Mary's here, and she is our housewife historian. So I want you guys to, hey, Mior, what's going on? Shout out to Mior. Okay, now I'm going to bring them on in 1 second. I'm just warming up the room. But listen, my little Tattle Tells, don't embarrass me while I have company over, all right? Y'all better act right while we have company over, all right? Let's see. Listen, honestly, before I bring them on, the topic of the day, the word of the day, we're going to do like a watch what's happening live. The word of the day is Miss Dorothy. And every time we say Miss Dorothy, Alex and Mariam have to take a shot. I'll take a shot of water, right? Miss Dorothy is perfectly. I don't want to talk about Candace's mom because I know she loves her, but I don't know. Let the circle be broken. Let these generational curses be lifted. I do think that Candace's mom thinks she's not good enough. Chris is not her, and she's trying to sabotage, not in a passive aggressive way, but in a full-on frontal assault. She's trying to either get Candace to leave Chris or Chris to leave Candace, which is really messed up because Chris might not be the richest man. I don't know how much yet, but he seems, yes, he has 2 kids, 3 kids, maybe 3 kids. Let's bring everybody on so we can get into the recap because it was such a good episode. I even took notes, and we're going to also get into Salt Lake City. All right, let me just warm up. Right. Okay, so let's say hi to a few people. Hi, Mariah Candle. Hi, Keep It Simple. Hey, not paid by anyone. Get back in that backstage. All right, let's see. Yeah, shout out to Mariam and Alex. There's 39 people in the chat. Hey, what's up, SS Pride? Hey. And you guys hit the like button. All right, let me bring my guest on so we can get this on and popping and get some more people. Hey, what's up, Lily? Hey, Lisa. Hey, TK. Hey, Elaine. Hey, Alicia Madison. We're about to get into this chat, this recap. It was good. You have tea ready, like green tea? Okay. Hey, what's up, creatoress? Come on. Shout out to Nikki Starr. Come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Okay, hold on. Let's go. Let's get everybody in the room. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the room. Everybody, act right. We got company over, so act right, okay? Y'all, we have so much to discuss. We're going to do a recap. So listen, the way it's going to go is, I'm telling you guys too, I took notes. We are going scene by scene. This episode of Real House of Potomac was actually good. I'm not going to lie. I like Potomac, but the last 2 episodes, I was like, it's medium, right? I was all about Beverly Hills. Miss Dorothy came and showed up and showed out. I was like, she rescued it. And then after that, we're going to get into Salt Lake City. Okay, so let's start off from the beginning. Miss Dorothy came in to see Candace's new house, right? Candace is trying to decorate it like Beauty and the Beast. She has the giant mirror. She puts 2 candelabras on the side. I said she's recreating that scene from Beauty and the Beast, right? Miss Dorothy already started picking away the sofa, this and that. Okay, let me show you how to lay. Y'all, I think Miss Candace, I'm sorry, I think Miss Dorothy is a Virgo. Mariam, I think she's a Virgo.
I
And I
love.
don't call Virgo, but you know when Virgos are nitpicky because they see everything perfect. They'll be like, okay, so you like that? Oh, you're keeping this couch. Okay, okay. I was just checking, right? I think Miss Dorothy is a Virgo. You guys, what's your thoughts on this scene? The opening scene. What were your thoughts?
I love Miss Dorothy. Like she is the gift that keeps on giving. And I have to drink because you said we have to drink.
Oh,
Oh, you guys heard that. Okay.
Yeah. So
I got my water too.
Okay. Okay.
you know, I agree with with her all the way from the decor to the music scene, because let's talk about the decor first. She's helping pay for that house, so she needs to have a say in it.
Here's the thing. Miss
Wait,
Dorothy said, hold on. Miss Dorothy said a lot of things, right? She is not shy about saying any things. I think she's just throwing shade on Candace. I think she knows it's going to help the storyline. I do not think Miss Dorothy is paying for that house at all. Chris is making money from online, but what's more, Candace got a nice little bump of pay for enduring the battery she endured at work last season. So I don't believe that for a minute. But let's see, Alex, jump in here. What do you think?
okay, well, first of all, I love Miss Dorothy. She's one of my favorites, but I love her as someone else's mom. That couldn't be my mom. That would never fly. And then when she was going in about her couch, I was like, oh, are you keeping this couch in here? I had to go look at my couch. 'Cause I was like, whoa, what's wrong with her couch? I thought that couch was nice. Maybe I need to upgrade because apparently it's not up to par. But Dorothy, she's just everything. She really is. But she
Like,
tells it like it is, and she's not scared to say it. And I feel like
correct.
Candace is the same way.
I
Mm,
feel like Candace is a little bit more not aware, but I feel like Miss Dorothy has a hold on Candace. I don't
yeah,
want to talk about
that's
Candace's
what
mother, but it's a bit abusive relationship. Let's look at it from being the mother, your mother being on TV nationally, not only humiliating you, but giving other people ammunition to go against you. Like,
Mm-mm.
mm, mm.
here's the
Nah.
thing. Candace would, I don't think she would allow her mom say such things if it wasn't true, or if she needed her somehow. Meaning, this is why I'm telling you, I think she still helps her with the payments, which I listen, I like generational wealth. I'm trying to create that for my kids.
Right.
But it's Candice who has a problem with it, and she pretends not to. She needs to get over. And if people say that, yes, she tried and watch what happens live, but it felt like contrived, because that came up as well. Knowing Candice the way she is, she wouldn't put up with
Yeah,
anybody
but
doing that.
you know
Even her.
what? As someone that has toxic family members, you can curse anybody out in the street. You're not going to curse out a close family member. I don't understand why people can't actually say you treat your toxic family members way different than you treat people in the street. What are you going to say when your mom like embarrasses you? Are you going to call her B? Are you going to curse her out? Are you going to drag her? How do you control your mom, especially considering Candace and Chris's relationship? The issue I see
I
with it is
tell you,
it's very codependent. Miss Dorothy is jealous because before that, Candace was codependent on her
Right.
mom. She
Right.
wants Candace to come back. And I just don't know when you say, like, oh, if it was her, she wouldn't allow her to say it. How do you check your mom?
I
How
tell
do
you
you
how.
check your mom?
I tell
Right.
you how. You don't need to be disrespectful. I don't bring her on the show. Period.
But the producers like her, though. You forget this.
See,
They
this is
don't
what I'm
know.
telling.
Mariam.
Indirectly or directly, she is contributing, even if she's getting the check from Bravo. Dorothy being on the show helps Candice a lot. And
She,
actually, this is when I like Candice. When her mom is there, then I feel with her. Believe me, I have toxic. I'm not saying she needs to curse her mom out like she does with Ashley. Never. That's a far that couldn't be farther from the truth. But I feel like if there wasn't any codependency, like to be able to make money doesn't mean like she needs really to write the check physically, but her being on the show maybe was a prerequisite for her from the producer saying, hey, you're going to be on the show, we want your mama
of
in the show.
course, to be a
And
full time housewife, you have to show your whole family when they say we want A, B, and C on the show, you have to come and deliver. But again, if the producers say we want your mom, I would still look at my mom because it's your job more than anybody to protect me in this
Right.
world. Everybody should be talking trash about me. You should be the one person to be like, I think Tisa's a perfect angel. She's never done anything wrong. You should be
Right.
the one to have my back, at least in public. The fact that she's sabotaging and the fact that Candace lets her get away from it. Because here's the thing, Mariam, and Alex, I'll let you jump in a second. Even if it was true, I would still check my mom. Don't embarrass me in public. The fact that you're acting like because Candace is like, well, it's true, so I'll let her say that. That makes me think it's even less true because if it was true, why would you want your mom putting your business all over the street?
Well, the truth, I'm not talking about the business.
No,
Like
no, I mean,
her,
like,
yeah, of her being like the owner or whatever, which part of me believes that, but that's my opinion. What I'm talking about is that because she knows that she needs her mom and let her mom be the messy self, do messy stuff. With all due respect, I love you, Miss Dorothy, I really do. This is why she brings her mom on the show and she lets her do what she does without checking her out because she respects her mom and she knows that her mom is a big part of her being on the show. A part of her to be checked, not canceled. Just to go back to the terminology that Bethany Frankel
I
used in
feel you, Alex. I'll let you get in here, but I listen. I think Miss Dorothy needs to be shown. She's only had one episode, so she's not that. I don't think she's responsible for Candace being on the show. But Alex, what do you think?
I have to agree more with you on this, Tisa. I feel like as her mom, she should be on the show, riding for her. Even if she has to lie in public, say, no, Chris is the best husband ever. Just do that. You can talk to them behind the scenes when you're at home with them and say, Chris, I feel like you're riding her coattails. I don't like that. You don't come on a show and then try to embarrass her, knowing that people already hate Candace as it is. Now you're coming on here
Exactly.
trying to shade her husband and basically saying he doesn't work. Like, that's not going to make your daughter feel well. Like, why would you want that? Even if you are helping her pay with things, that you still don't do that. Because if you are helping her, you're helping her because you love her. So then
Yes.
why would you go on the show and then try to embarrass? Like, I don't
And
understand
then
that.
as an extra layer of sickness, which is why I'm like, I think that Candace is codependent, and I think Miss Dorothy is just. I don't want to talk about her mom, but yeah, I
yeah,
wouldn't see that as a day. But let me just say this: let's not also forget that last year, when Candace got drugged up and down these Twitter and YouTube streets, what's the number one thing that people said? Oh, your own mom, your own mom. You know that the reckless things you say directly resulted in not only your daughter being abused, but people laughing at her about that. And then you come back on, you're doing with Mia, you're talking to Robin and Giselle. Like,
listen,
it blew my mind where I was
I
like,
get it. I
if
think
that wasn't her mom and that was a friend, they would have
listen,
been.
we agree here. I don't disagree with anything you guys said. I'm just saying that part of her codependency is that they want her mom on the show and she wants to be on the show because that's her main paycheck, the show.
Yes.
So there is a codependency there. There is a codependency emotionally. There is a borderline, like not, I don't know if I can say it, but yes, it seems like abusive behavior. It's a complicated dynamic. I get that. I'm not saying, but she's just Mama Joyce 2.0. Come on. Like
No,
every other mother.
no. You sitting there and telling people my man's broke, talking trash. But but
It's
hold
right
on. While
off.
I'm at my music video, you're talking trash about me, and Candace could hear that. The fact that you're even sabotaging me at my music video because you're mad that my husband is my manager. So you're trying to low key sabotage me because she knows her daughter. She knows what makes her daughter nervous. She knows when her daughter's freaking out. We all looked at Candace like she seems to be handled swap. Candace was freaking out. Her mom knew that. She was added on. The fact that you want her to fail so much to prove that Chris shouldn't be your manager instead of just supporting her and hoping the things go where it is.
Listen, it's bad. It is bad. I agree with you. It is bad. I'm not saying it's right. I don't say I would like my mom to do that. But just to backtrack on Mama Joyce, she
Oh, hold on. We
dragged
have
her
Mel.
up.
We have a special guest. We got Mel NYC joining us by audio. Hey, Mel. So go on,
What's up,
Mariam.
man?
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So
Hey
my
guys, how
point.
you doing?
Pretty good. Mariam is in the middle of defending Miss Dorothy. Me and Alex are dragging her. You could jump in when you want. So
You
go
know,
on.
I'm gonna be
I
controversial.
love it. I love it. Okay.
I take things like I kind of compartmentalize. But back to Mama Joyce, she dragged Todd, making believe that Todd is only with Candy because of her money, and that was hurtful to Candy for seasons. And for seasons, she attacked his mother, even I love Mama Joyce, but there was that thing that she could say anything, and the Candy would allow her be herself. But Candy wouldn't check her mom. She would check whoever comes after her mom. But here, my point is with Dorothy. I feel like she is needed. She is part of the ensemble, because Candice doesn't have kids yet. The only family member that is coming on is her mom. She's controversial. She brings viewership, and her mom went there with an agenda. And
Okay.
I agree with her mom that being a husband and a manager at the same time is not the best recipe for the marriage.
All right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because here's the thing, right? First, I want to say thank you so much, Elaine Chin, for the super chat. Appreciate you so much, and we'll get Reggie Greg Blanchard. Thank you for excellent team. Yes, hit the like button. Ow. Okay, so listen, we're gonna get to the questions in a second. Oh, Mirror Candle, thank you so much. Yo, just shower me with money. I deserve it. Okay, so listen, we're gonna get Mariam Candle. Thank you so much, and Reggie Greg Blanchard. Follow Reggie Greg Blanchard on Twitter. Now, he does like horror movies, not my favorite thing, but he has a hilarious feed. And if you're into horror movies, he is a horror movie connoisseur. And also Mirror Candle Company. That's my girl, my travel center, always with her. So listen, you guys, let's actually talk. We're gonna go back to Grace driving, but let's actually get into the scene, right? Because Candace, I was like, why is everybody being? Now, listen, I am all about traditional roles, right? Right? If Tisa got a man, Tisa ain't working at McDonald's, right? You know that, right? So if y'all ever see me working at McDonald's, you'll be like, she's single. I'll work.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, I'll work. But, I don't aspire to a life of labor, right? So here's the thing. I was like, why is everybody being so hard on Chris? Because one, y'all act like Candace is Beyonce. Candace literally could have turned into Don't Be Tardy for the Party Part 2. Nobody knew that Drive Back would have been a bop. Nobody knew she was going to be well received. If you guys have been on Clubhouse, right? Karen Civil and the whole industry of PR agents is being dragged through the mud for taking up-and-coming artists, up-and-coming Black journalists, up-and-coming everything, and stealing money from them left and right, stealing ideas, dogging them out. It is not safe in these streets to be and I knew this already from people I know that are young, up-and-coming journalists and artists and this and that. One guy said that Karen Civil, while he was trying to get on, he had worked and saved $60,000. She took his money, went on vacation, and when he called her, she acted like he was bothering her, never did anything for her. There's hundreds and thousands of more stories about people. The industry is rough for up-and-coming artists, and managers will use you, abuse you, put you in bad deals. Everybody is fighting to get out of their first contracts they sign with their first managers. The fact that she's so young, to me, it's smart that if your man can do it and he can get you in the doors, she was in a Hallmark movie. Drive Back's good. The video was a mess, but it turned out surprisingly cute, especially considering what they went through. It's actually a smart move for me. And as she grows, she'll get an actual decent manager. But I actually think, and Miss Dorothy, if she could get past her hate for Chris, she would see that. It's actually a smart move when you first start out to have somebody at least you trust that is not going to rob you before. No, I mean before, because he's working for free. He's not even her real manager for real. It's her husband working for free. I would do that my first couple things. And then once I have a little bit of leverage, get like a real manager that can take me to the next level. So I was confused. What do y'all think? But y'all jump in.
I was going to say, I'm a little late to the party. I'm just so happy I see Miss Mariam and listen, my brother right there, Mr. Alex. So we talk every now and then, Miss Tisa, so cool. So yes, Miss Mariam. I was just going to say about Miss Dorothy, that scene was a little cringeworthy to me, I will say, because I just felt like she was trying so hard. She seemed like this person who was on the show for the first time. She just wanted the camera time. It just seemed so just like unbelievable. So when the one thing I will say, and Karen, I've been hit and miss with her because, it's just been a little hit and miss for me. But I really wish, say as an older woman, she was showing such maturity to really try to guide Miss Dorothy away from the camera and say, wait a minute, I'm trying to get on good terms with your daughter. I don't want to sit here and bad talk her and do a media on her. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But what you said about Candace and her husband, you know what? I just think they have a young marriage. I think their marriage is very young and just very cute. And I think that maybe they just don't sort of conform to those sort of traditional kind of, roles that maybe Juan and Robin does, or maybe that Michael and Ashley do. I think that maybe it's a little more freer there, a little more room there, so they can sort of do things that can support each other. Because I think she was in her after show and she was really getting down to the roots. Saying, "Listen, I love the man. I was up at night one time and I talked to him and said, 'This is my dream.' He said, 'Okay, you know what? I'm going to do it.'" And she said, so. It was her and Wendy communicating out how much they love their husbands, how much they support them. So. Yeah. Maybe it will transition to that she can, like you say, she becomes successful. I'm really shocked that, and I love Candace. I'm shocked that she's doing so well. So to see her independent of Bravo to do other things, it blew my mind. After she had the issue last year, I was like, wait a minute, she popped up on BET. She popped up on these other channels. So I was like, wow, like you said, she's not like other housewives doing little gimmicks. She's actually doing legitimate things. So maybe when she's even bigger, she'd say, okay, Chris, you can go back to restaurant and stuff. But right now, pandemic is happening. We should save some money. And can you watch my back a little bit temporarily? I don't think it's long term. I don't think she's ever indicated it would be long term.
I think so, too. I will say before anybody jumped in, I don't know about the Karen trying. Listen, Karen guided her away from the cameras, and I'll give her that. But they were still mucked up. And then Karen started digging for dirt. So it's like, Karen is always like that, where it's like, you start doing the right thing, and then you turn, but she does it for show, so she can go back and be like, I did the right thing. But you started asking questions too, like, wait, what? Wait, yeah. So I saw that. But you guys jump in and let me know what you guys think also.
I think for Chris Bassett, I'm a huge Chris Bassett fan. He's probably my favorite husband on the show. But I don't like him as her manager. I understand the whole saving money thing because she's new. Having him as a manager it's free, obviously, so that can get her places.
Safer though.
Free and safer. However, why can't he make his own money on the side doing an actual job? Like, are they really?
He came in an apron, Alex.
He's doing like online classes. How much money is he really making for that if he has to manage Candace, which takes a lot of time as it is? Like, it's a lot of work to be a manager. I don't know how in depth he's going.
But he wasn't. To that point, Alex, and let me know what you think. He was in the restaurant industry, and like half the restaurants in New York closed down, half in LA closed down. To be fair, I see why he had to go to online class. He's a hustler. Know.
Yeah. That's not the problem that he went online. My point is, Chris and Candace, from the get-go, it was like she's the one who has the money, or her mother. That was the theme or the rumor or what they use or their storyline. So to overcome that and all of a sudden be her husbander is really the recipe for disaster for their marriage. I'm not talking about her music career. She's doing given the circumstances, she really I just wish she would, just tackle her Twitter feed. But she would have blown up, to be honest with you, because compared to other housewives, she has talent. She's talented.
That's right.
Back to him being her manager. Their storyline has always been that Miss Dorothy is the one holding the checkbook and signing the checkbook, and now for him to be her husbander, when that is the back storyline, and that he is backed up in child support, and all of a sudden his kids are in the show. I think it's too much to ask. Even
what are you talking about? He was backed up in child support.
No, the rumors. I'm not saying it's
not backed up in child support. We could have gone to Fulton County. What is it? Prince George County Courthouse. He's not backed up.
No, and my point, this is what they were fighting about, fighting these rumors. When I say, I'm not saying that's the truth, but I'm saying the rumor was that in the street, like Giselle says, that Dorothy's the one that pays the checkbook, and that he had problems with his ex-wife. This is why his kids were not on the show. All of a sudden, they're on the show. Now there's the pandemic, which is true. And it's his hard luck that he works in an industry that was really hard the most hardly hit by the pandemic. So, but my point is, just like fighting all that and becoming her husband is really an uphill battle for him. There's no win for him. He would lose no matter what.
But you don't think that that's one of those things that's just like, okay, he's not going to win. That's their business. It's kind of like, Alex, back me up on this. It's kind of like the way you open your mouth, but it's like, shut up, Tisa. And it's like, goddamn, like at least let me make a mistake. Like, what the hell? Like, what do you think, Alex?
I don't know. I still disagree because I'm married, so I would not have my spouse doing things for me for free. We both need to make money, and I understand he's still doing his little things on the side, but it's not full time. And I'm still going back to being a manager is a full time job, especially if she's new. She needs to get all these connections. She needs to make sure everything is perfect because I mean that's what it is. When you have an actual manager, they can get you places where someone like Chris Bassett can't. Because
I'm just telling y'all, I know from the inside, y'all think that if a new thing you get a manager and it's all sweet. I am telling y'all, 80% of people, whether it's acting, singing, modeling, whatever, those first managers eat you alive. You are blessed and lucky if you can get a first manager. Do you know how much people fight to get out of the first contracts? That shit is no joke. I think now that we have dry back and this and that, she might, to Alex's point, right, Mariam, to your point, she might be able to actually get a decent manager that's not taking advantage of her because she has a little leverage. But coming from housewives, I mean, come on.
And just to the point that Alex just mentioned, when I think if I would have, from my experience, if I could make a law, I would have all stay-home parents. They would they would cut a paycheck for themselves, because everything that the stay-home parent is doing, if that parent wasn't there, you would have to pay for that service, right? So this is why I'm saying he needs to be paid. I feel like if they don't have, they can't have blurred lines, and he can't be working for her for free, especially with all those rumors that they've been fighting about since season 1. And he needs to make a living. Maybe if he was getting a cut from the paycheck, at least what he's getting from these online classes, I don't think he was getting 6 figures from that. But I feel like Candace should have said, listen, how much would you make in this? Oh, he said, he gives her the number, and she knows that he wouldn't be lying. He said, okay, I'm going to double that, because that would be an investment. And she won't have anybody have her back more than Chris has till this time. He has her back more than her own mother. That's a fact.
But Miss Mariam,
that and don't make him need money or need to prove to people that I am working too. And
hold on, Mariam, hold on. Let's get Mel.
Well, no, I was just I'm loving what she's saying. I was gonna say, Miss Mariam, do you think that so what's happening is in the current interviews, Candace is saying that it was a learning curve, and that it was like they never was in that situation. So I think tonight we saw the one episode I saw tonight that there was an issue with the car. So he was responsible for getting the cars there. So he was majorly responsible. It didn't work out. And she explained to Andy that was, it wasn't his fault. But I think that she said she learned that, as Tisa was saying, it was the best for the situation. It was just this time. And they're not really too threatened by the idea of marrying themselves, the idea of doing this for 10 years. It was just sort of like an experiment. They didn't hate each other. It just didn't work out perfectly. And she's organically moving on to better maybe representation. So I think that they saw it. It didn't hurt their marriage, but they was like, you know what? This is not really the best. There's some kinks here. I think we're just going to, do something different. So I think that's what's happening organically. She's sort of transitioning from him because that's what all the interviews are saying.
No, I think that's an excellent idea. And, we're going to get into the rest of the episode. But I also want to point out, Candace and Chris are two codependent people. Candace did not give a shit about those cars showing up. Even if she had a manager, she still wanted to show Chris right there. My mom and dad are codependent like this. Two people, like literally, she still would have wanted him there. So she tried to make it about the cars. That's why she was mad when she's like, how couldn't you be there? She just wants Chris all the time. Now that, I think, it's going to be a bigger issue, because as you grow, and when they were doing the restaurant and when this and that, and she could always be around him. But now that she's like, you're not working, come with me. I think that might be an issue. Now, I will say, let's go on to the next scene, right? We got Giselle, the Gucci Mini Cooper.
A filler scene, filler. Oh my gosh, it was nothing
No,
happening.
but even the Gucci Mini Cooper, and she was like, "Yeah, Jamal left it, and I took the car." And I was like, "I see why
Oh
he
my
left it."
gosh.
I could tell Pastor Brian getting out his glasses with the Gucci Mini Cooper. Now Giselle has it, right? She was running over the cameraman. Giselle was a Virgo to her heart. She was trying to like let Grace do it, but she kept grabbing the wheel like, "Grace, no," right? And when Giselle got out, y'all, I mean, it was a filler scene. Giselle, what do you think about Giselle and Grace? I think they have a really close, sweet relationship. Giselle
Oh
is
yeah.
known as Dorothy. I'll tell you that much. You know, she rides for her girl.
Screaming like that. I felt like that was on purpose for the cameras. Like at first it was funny, but then I'm like, why is her daughter screaming like that all the time?
Right.
Because she thinks she's gonna die. You remember the first time you drove and you
Yeah,
hit
but
that gas? I
that-
thought I was gonna die. Take everybody out with me.
listen,
Like
I don't
literally.
drive in Lebanon, so I'm like, I can't drive anywhere. So I don't know if that would scare me, but like I felt like that was too much. Well, it's like she was doing that extra. It wasn't natural. I don't know. I liked it. Was funny.
It was
Yeah.
just funny to see. It was funny to study because it was just her and her daughter. And I don't know why I was so focused. I said, "Oh my gosh, Giselle uses okay." She uses that word. I didn't notice that she used it all the time. So in that car, I don't know. It was filler scene. But again, I will say as a mother, she adores her daughter. She loves them. They're beautiful ladies, and wasn't much happening. At least she wasn't mean or messy or anything. So it was pretty innocent little interaction.
Yeah, I actually like the scenes between Giselle and her kids. I always find them enjoyable, even if they can be cringy sometimes. I feel like seeing Giselle in the mother role as opposed to being like the messy one in the group, it's just a good side of her. And shout out to Grace, that she finally got her learner's permit. It only took 5 times. It happens to everyone. So shout out to her. I think that's the most important part of the scene. She actually
That's
passed.
it. She did it. As long as you get it right, you only need to
Got it
pass
done.
one time, right?
Come on
Now,
now.
y'all, let's get
Listen, the fifth time is
wait,
the
hold on, y'all.
I know
Let's
that's
get
right.
into some juice. We are getting into messy Mia. Y'all,
Ooh,
Mia
no.
reminds me of.
And she made those eggs too hard. I mean, that Miss Lady could not
Okay,
cook
first of all, I was like, Mia don't cook. She was
No,
trying
she
to
don't.
scramble some eggs. She was trying to whip some eggs in a bowl with a spoon. I saw that. I was like,
come
Mia, get
on.
out the kitchen. You don't cook. You don't cook. Like Mia, a spoon to make food.
No.
She's like, I'm hungry. Listen, Mia, when she first came on, right? Mia is a giant fluffer. She literally first came on and said, me and Gordon built up 14 businesses, franchises from scratch. You notice this scene, she said, Gordon had 14 franchises when I met him. He's
Mhm.
now retired and he's letting me manage them. So now you manage them. So that's what I said. You know what? Who was the one that called her out? I think Wendy called her out and was like, you're not even managing. You're just going, playing dress up Barbie. I don't think you even have anything to do. And I'm not shading them. They're your husband's businesses. But Mia, you went from founding them, you guys starting them, to now he had them, but he's letting you manage them. Do you really think she's managing 14? Or does she have the secretary in, right? Now, Mia also, y'all might not know, Mia also was in these Twitter streets being super, super, super messy. I'm going to read you some of these tweets and I want y'all to tell me what you think of them, right? So, she said, she slotted right in. An easy transition. I prefer her to the long-term housewives, aka Candace and Robin. Opinionated. This is what somebody Dom put. Opinionated and outspoken, but not nasty. Mia tweeted, Robin Dixon is not nasty. She is REAL, real. Now, the real Candace, on the other hand, I'm good. Is Chris getting paid? Nah, Miss Dorothy confirmed unemployment. Miss Dorothy would never. Listen, I'm quick to cut somebody toxic out my life. That would have been after I got beat up and then you came back and somebody's clowning me on Twitter. I was like, that's it. Don't come into the house. But then it's not over, right? Candace said, no, I've specifically made a point to ignore your handsome ass all season. Right? You claim I'm irrelevant, but you can't seem to keep my name out your mouth. Don't pull that victim/bully bullshit when I light your ass up again. Do keep my husband's name out of your mouth. So then Mia said, you'd be mad if you found out your husband was tossing my salad in the kitchen. # sous chef. Right? So then Chris jumped in and said, I mean, since I'm so integral to this this morning and on everybody's mind and tweets, you're not really my type. I prefer that all natural dark chocolate type of woman, right? So then Mia said, "Ooh, Chris Bassett, sorry, babe. I was referring to a situation of a guy I met at Pitmaster Barbecue back in the day. Not you, boo. I don't think." Y'all, Mia is a liar. She is messy, but also the fact that you're trying to insinuate that Chris tossed your salad in his restaurant a while back. Mia is obsessed with thinking everybody wants her. Mia's a gorgeous girl, but you're not so beautiful people can't pass. Mia, stop it, right? Like, stop it. And second of all, it's just, but then also, Candace really got under Mia's skin by calling her handsome because because
Both of them get under each other's skin.
no. So get this. So this guy, Tim New York City, said between her petulant child personality, body, and why is calling Ashley a five-head body shaming, right? And anti-homosexual and anti-trans comments, she needs to be fired by Bravo TV and Bravo Andy. He's talking about Candace. Mia said, agreed. I won't be seen in the same room with her for sure. It's not cute and offensive to the masses. Wrong game. LGBTQ community, I stand. She said, this is not my show, not my game. I pay chess. Hashtag checkmate. She's now trying to call Candace transphobic and make this a thing because Candace called her handsome, to which I said, Mia, you're not trans. How is she transphobic? Listen, what do y'all think of messy Mia and the shit she tried? Mia is a liar. She is amusing. I love her on the show, but she's one of those, she will just lie and then turn around and be like, okay, so I'm not Michelle Obama. Okay, like Mia is a lie. She just lies. And again, it's cute the first season, but once you get into it, it's like I can't even believe a word that comes out your mouth because you will say whatever you need to say in that moment to get one up on somebody. She would really be like, yeah, that's why I slept with your daddy. My dad's been dead for 12 years, but still 20, it's just like, but go on. What you think about this?
But
She reminds me of Kenya a little bit.
What's that?
I said she reminded me of Kenya season one, of the way Kenya used to toy with Phaedra and Apollo and all that, because I didn't know that she was saying anything about Candace's husband. That was new to me.
Tread lightly. I'm a big Kenya fan.
Wait. I mean, I was a Kenya fan the first two seasons. I mean, I love Nene to the end. So I'm not Kenya. I'm not in Kenya's territory right now. But yeah, so just the idea of her, the idea of her talking about Candace's husband. That's interesting. And I never saw that on the show. But
she said Chris tossed her salad. She didn't say like it was flirting and lying about it. And Chris was like, "That's not me." And Mia caught in her lie did the same. Oh, sorry, it was another guy, or was it with the winky face? Mia,
I was gonna say, did they tape the reunion already? Because I bet you they'll come up with the reunion if they didn't.
Mia's just gonna lie. Mariam, Alex, what y'all think?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's this thing. I feel like Mia, she knows how to get under Candace's skin, and she knew that by making up this story, she would get under her skin, and that's what she wanted. She wanted like the clap back, and she was getting. So if I was Candace, I would say, who said that?
Somebody would come to you and tell you that your husband did something to them at his place of work, and you'd be like, I don't know her. You would let that slide, Alex. Would you let that slide?
But that was on Twitter. Wasn't
that?
Yeah,
it was on Twitter. Yeah.
I don't think that Candace was that bothered. I think that Candace sees through her.
I
have to disagree. I don't think she's that bothered. Like, just because she's responding does not mean she's bothered. She's been letting Mia go on tangents for weeks now. Candace just responding now because you brought her husband into it and she felt like she needed to. But I don't think she's that bothered. Candace is going to eat me up at the reunion. Like, there's no competition.
So you and Mariam are in agreement. But Mariam, who do you think will win in a sparring war between Mia and Candace?
I think Mia is trying to, book the second season, and she's working towards that. And she's doing exactly what housewives do. She lies. But then again, when the translation of Giselle was accurate. It wasn't verbatim. It was accurate. So she is playing. She's twerking over the fence. That woman. And
Wait,
she
what was
sometimes
the wait, catch me up. What was the translation with Giselle? I didn't see that.
Giselle said that, when Giselle was saying like, if you're gonna crumble every time, you can't be in this group. That means that she was calling Wendy weak. You know, so
Oh.
this is the thing. She sometimes, like, there's a little bit of truth, spices it up. She's just doing what will keep her on the show. But I know she lies. But you know what? It's funny. She's being funny. Like, I laughed at Mia when she does the about face, and she played with the Miss Dorothy, like at the video scene. But one thing I will say, that I feel like her marriage oddly seems so solid. I like when she interacts with her husband. I really do. The way they speak, I don't feel like he controls her or she controls him. I really feel like now they're kind of equal. But when she says and I loved when she said he had 14 businesses and now I'm managing them. She didn't at least lie there that she helped him grow his business. So
She
he has
said
a
in the first scene we met her. You don't remember the scene where she said, "We built these businesses." Everything that girl said. Wait, hold on, Mary. Let me, Alex, come on, jump in. What you think about Mia?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Mel.
Here's the issue with Mia. I think that when Mia came on the season, I don't think she really knew what role she wanted to play. Like first, she was like, I'm this boss. We have all these businesses. Like yes, like I have all
Girl
this.
boss.
We built
Yes,
it.
yes.
And now she's trying to play like the messy angle. And the problem with that is we already have two messy housewives. Like that's their job. It's Giselle and Ashley. You're not going to come in and take that from them. And I think that all this thing that she's doing, like trying to be messy, like asking if Chris basically has a different job or whatever, it's her trying to fill that messy role when we already have it, and she's not good at it. To me, it's not even funny. It's like she's trying way too hard. She's giving me Drew Sidora vibes from Atlanta. Like that's really what she's giving. Like
oh
trying.
no,
That's the person she reminded me of.
oh no, don't say
Drew
true.
Sidora.
Yeah, that's exactly what she reminds me of.
Yes. There we
But
go.
you're right. But you're right about her being messy. Is that for me? I again, Mariam and you all can. Yeah, I study it more than I do. I feel like I know sometimes the reviewers and ladies say, "Oh well, we have contact with the producers." For me, it felt like it just felt so jarring to see her come to this episode and to be so focused on Candace and her marriage. When I just didn't. I thought that maybe she'd be more focused on Karen or her friendship. So I was like, "Wow, did somebody tell her to go over there and stir the pot?
Well,
Did they
she's
tell
an
her?"
easy mark. She saw the blogs, she saw that great divide, she saw the people that loved Candace and hated Candace. To Alex's point, right? And to your point, Miriam, and she's not stupid. I think she came on with a plan. And like you said, she's being super messy. Now, here's the thing. Alex brings up Giselle and Ashley are the resident messy people. But Ashley, ugh, yeah, it's Ashley's last season. Ugh.
Probably,
I
probably
hope
not.
so.
Thinking about
I
that
hope so.
scene.
Oh no,
When
They
she was
they love
talking
me.
about her uterus or whatever she was talking about, and I was just like,
But
ew,
so, but
I wonder if your
yeah, but
leprosy
so
patient Michael doesn't want to touch you. Like, ew,
uh,
stop it. This is
but that
gross.
scene with her and her family, she said that they were going to be movie producers. I said, if any person in this world should not be a movie producer, it should not be Michael Darby.
He wants
We
to
don't
have a
want.
casting couch, right?
Come
He
on,
wants a casting couch.
come on now. When I saw
listen.
that, I got chills in my body. I said, "He's gonna be a movie producer. We're gonna have a. He's gonna be worse than Harvey, whoever
Listen,
these people
and
are."
then Ashley,
Oh
he's
my
talking about
gosh!
me starring. I mean, I don't know, whatever. And I was like, and all I thought about when she was performing Coffee and Cream, and she was like, "Have you ever had a feeling?" And she was dancing off beat, and I was just like, I hope it's going to be a musical, right? It's going to be a
Oh my
musical.
god!
So listen,
I'm not with Mia against Candace. I am not. There's no team in my eyes in this feud. I feel like both of them are coming at each other. Mia is trying to poke everybody. She is. She's trying
Mhm.
to secure the second season. And this is why what she's doing. I feel like she brings comic relief. It's obvious that she's lying, and she knows that she's lying. But that I don't know. I don't feel like her lies are conniving. That's the only thing that I would say. I don't feel like, and the one that did the horrible, like that gave her material was Miss Dorothy. Let me
That's
think.
true.
yeah, it
What?
was. Now, about their marriage, I don't think their marriage is that solid. I do not. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's solid But something in there gives me some stuff like they've been through some things. I don't know why they give me that vibe. Even when she was like, yeah, have we ever had a threesome? And she was like, well, I was in the room and I watched. And I was just like, yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was just
Well, I
like,
mean,
yeah.
what we saw in the season, it was a trailer for the second part where we see him sticking his tongue out and maybe being a little more sexual, and Karen looking at him like he crazy. So, there's definitely going to be a little more of a seedier side coming out of their marriage. So, yeah, I think something else is going on between Mia and her husband. But I was going to say it was funny in that scene when Mia was the producer's pet, I think, in my mind, and Giselle turned around and was like, "Wait a minute, that woman is still in my story there," because when they went over and told her, said, "Oh, but Giselle, she asked this messy question." She's like, "What?" Well, I like that, and then so it seemed like Alex was saying that it seemed like we already have that sort of pot stirrer, and Giselle was like, "Wait a minute, how this girl doing what I'm supposed to do? She over there being
Right.
Exactly.
Say something to this. I noticed something confessional. I feel like, honestly, Mia is being coached by Giselle, because Giselle in her confessional, she said, "Yes, Mia, go ahead, go be messy and tell me all about it. I want to
She did
know."
say that. That's right.
Yes, she did say that. I feel like that was very telling, and I could not understand for the life of me why this alliance that they have. I feel like Mia is really, maybe Giselle, she wants, listen, I want some relief. I can't be the messy all the time, so I need you on board. She let first Ashley do her dirty work with Wendy, and then while she was being messy in her confessionals. And I think Mia is really being like coached by Giselle. I really do.
She's definitely being coached by somebody, because it was like 180. She was okay. So we had this episode last week where she was so cute and lovely and had all the ladies come together and this, and then now this episode, and so it just felt like a total 180 for me. It was like, wow, Mia, what in the world?
Exactly. They had coffee with her or drinks. Like they are trying really to forge. They're taking the steps to forge a relationship with her, even despite of what they heard she say behind her back. This is why I feel like there is an alliance there. It's as if she goes, yeah, when you are with Karen, yeah, bash me. Okay, kind of like she knew, because with anybody else, like when she heard what did Mia say about she's not that when she flip-flopped about the death of Black Bill Gates, didn't she flip-flop with that at the
No,
beginning?
you're right.
Yeah,
You're
but
right.
like, the comeback between her and Giselle was too peaceful, and I feel like that there's something there. It was produced. I feel like it was
Yeah,
produced.
I think it's definitely strategic. I think that a lot of people on the season have been very strategic. I think Wendy's being very strategic by placing herself with Karen. I don't think that friendship is real, in my opinion. And I think that Mia sees a spot to get close with Giselle. Because if you're close with Giselle, you're pretty much safe for at least a season or two. I mean, we've had Robin since season one, and everyone's like, "Get her off the show, she's boring." But Robin and Giselle are like a duo now, so it's like, no, you can't break them up. We like seeing the Green Eye Bandits. So I think that some of these ladies, they see these things and they try to get with whoever they can get with just to stay on the show. Wendy and Mia are both the newest additions, right? Now
Yeah.
Wendy's close to Karen. Karen's a fan favorite, so that's good for her. And then Giselle's obviously, she's not necessarily a fan favorite, but she's a production favorite. And being close to the show can definitely get you far. And I think she sees that. So if that's what she's doing, I mean, it's a smart move, but I don't know if it's
No,
going to work.
right.
Where did you go, Tessa? We can see you.
Oh, I'm still here. Sorry. I'm just trying to move some stuff around.
Okay.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
Well,
Hold on.
I
I'm
think,
actually switching. Hold on.
yeah, Mia, I think she is. She's there to perform a job, and they had a meeting that nobody mentioned in any live
That's right.
about what they're gonna do this season, and it's obvious that Giselle doesn't want to be the only messy, and that's a
No, I think
pattern.
yeah, I think you're right. I think that she got crucified at that reunion. So I think any way she cannot be like crucified on Twitter and at the reunion, you're absolutely right. She will try to spread it around, let Ashley, let me, let other people be the sort of pot stirrers. And I think even when she did the little chat with her, Portia, and Giselle, it was funny because Karen said, "We'll talk about it at the reunion." She said, "Oh, no, 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 we're not going to talk about the reunion." She's frightened by the idea of the reunion because last year she probably dealt with post traumatic stress from that last time she was there. But yeah, I think
Oh, she
definitely.
had a breakdown that they did not air. You know
Yeah.
that, right? So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he's definitely being protected by the network. I wish they showed us everything. Maybe we would have actually felt bad for Giselle, but they are. I don't think they're doing it's a disservice to her and her family. Yeah, everything that Wendy said about Giselle when she checked her back, that was for me like everything was on point. She was on fire. I think, yeah, she has low self esteem and she knows that she has a pretty face. This is why it's part of her tagline. And that's all she relies on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she goes, this pretty face keeps pretty, like being in the shade, right? So she's shady, knows her job, and she's trying to get some relief this season by letting the others do her dirty work.
Yeah, that's true. I have one question that while we're waiting for Miss Tisa. I was going to say, when the ladies came to the set for the video, I was perplexed. I was like, why would they come so late if they only have 40 minutes for the sun? So I feel like they should have got into that set at least a couple hours before, because then they were rushing to catch the sun. That just seemed like another bad planning moment, maybe between Candace and Chris.
I know what happened there. It's the perfect case of when something is free or cheap, it
Uh-oh.
becomes.
Yeah.
So just pay your manager, whoever he is. It's
Yeah,
good
that's
to
true.
you know I am paying you for a service, and this is why then the marriage part and the business side maybe can stay separate. And I feel
Yeah.
like it was impossible for Chris to. First of all, he's not a manager. He knows how to manage his wife as a husband, but being a manager is a total different ball game. His game is in the kitchen. So it's like I felt bad for Chris, to be honest with you. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Why'd you feel bad for Chris?
I felt like it was impossible for him to succeed. Listen, I am not their biggest fan, but I compartmentalize things. From what I saw on the show, I get it why he wanted to show that he has a job. It was like he was trying to prove a point, and he had everything under control. And the mistake wasn't his. And even Candice said that in Watch What Happens Live. But I feel like because he's trying to disprove everything said about him, backfired the situation at the video. But
Yeah.
we had an episode out of that, that was like, which I don't think it's a good. For me, today's episode was okay. It was
Yeah.
That's
cute.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
In the
how I
middle,
feel.
it wasn't really. Yeah.
it wasn't amazing. Yeah.
No.
This is killing me. Sorry, guys. I'm literally trying to figure out what's going on with my camera. Ignore me. But anyway, I'll keep talking. Hold on.
Oh, would you like to see?
God, somebody put like
Wait, so
happy
we?
face.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, should we go into the Salt Lake? We still staying on Potomac? You think?
No, we got a lot to cover. What?
I agree with Najai Malcolm.
What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to stay on Potomac or you want to go into Salt Lake?
Well, Alex
think
said we have more to
we can
cover.
go to
What else you got there?
I wanted to talk real quick about Wendy, if that's okay, with
Yeah.
her
Talk about
her
Wendy.
business plan. Karen and Wendy, because first I think Karen scene was first. I don't remember. When she was talking about her candles, and she again shaded Wendy. We were talking about, I have a 3-wick candle, and Wendy only has like a 1-wick, so mine reaches further than Wendy's. And I've been saying this on my because I'm like, Wendy, Karen is not your friend. Look, she's literally shading you, and you're over here on the show trying to coddle her, like be her best friend, and she's in her confessionals doing all this shade. Didn't even tell you that she has her own candle business. I'm just like, what is going on with this? Like, that just shows me that the relationship is not authentic, because there's no way this can be your real friend.
I don't think that was that comment was initiated by Karen. We know they're always responding to the producer asking them the questions, and they wanted to say that. So when they asked her, she said, and this is what they showed on the show, which is, like, it was funny, and it shows. I feel like, it seems like Karen has been working on her candle long before Wendy. Wendy, this is a surprise to all of us, even for herself. And I feel like, you know what? Maybe she can learn something, but I wish she would, I think Wendy, she's in a situation she regrets some of the judgment she passed on last season, because she's seeing that now she's the target. She really just like blindly just took a team without giving anybody like a chance. For me, in my eyes, I feel like it was an unfortunate situation what happened between Monique and Candace. Monique lost it because there was a lot happening outside the show. And I'm not saying that I condone violence, but then again, violence happens all the time on these shows. And, if you're not going to condone it here, don't condone anywhere. Just like justice. Injustice somewhere is injustice everywhere. This is my thing. Have one set of rules for everybody, then we won't be caught up in these conversations. So I feel like, I don't think Karen is being a double-faced. I think she was answering the questions that the producers wanted her to talk about.
Well, I think that what Alex was saying, for me, Karen, I loved it. So again, I guess I evolved because I loved it at the beginning of the season because her hair was bad and she kept making all these mistakes, and she had little parties that had no people there, and she still had those issues now. But I think that for me, like you just said, Miss Mariam, I loved Monique. I used to love her so much. But then last year, I just sort of became indifferent, and it didn't work out. And then I became a person who I love the fire in Candace. I love it to this day. But I just feel like Karen didn't make the best decisions in those ways. And I think that was shown up this series is that, and I think to Giselle's point, I'll give her that one point. She said that Karen is always out for herself. I don't know if that's the worst thing in the world, but I think that Karen is definitely, I don't think that she can be. I don't know of any woman on that show. If I'm thinking about any woman on that show who would go to Karen other than for comfort. And other than that, I'm not sure they would say she's the best friend to them. I think she's a very comforting lady.
Who is a good friend in the show? I don't see any real friend in anybody, even
Candace. Robin and
I don't think friendship. Robin, she did the farewell post last season. She has to send the fruit basket to Monique for securing her on the show. She was out. They were scrambling at last minute. So even them, I don't feel like, especially from Giselle, how many times she threw shade on Robin's relationship. There's no real friendship between any of them. So I don't think we should single out Karen. I think all of them are in it for themselves. And it's a competition. It's business. It's the same business, handle business. So, I think anybody would have done what Karen did,
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't think it's shade that she has a candle business. I think it's shade that she couldn't at least tell Wendy. Wendy went to her house for candle advice on her business. If Karen's already in the process of making her own candles, she's been doing it for a year, I'm pretty sure she could have given her advice like, hey, I'm actually working on a candle myself. Here are some steps you can take. This is what I did. And keep it at that. The fact that she didn't tell her at all, that just tells me, why would you not tell her?
I was going to say, let me just jump in here. Let me just jump in here.
Come on.
Now that I got my camera fixed, let me just jump in here, right? I completely agree with Alex, and I would also raise you. Karen is a liar too. The fact that Karen was smelling the candle and was like, this smells like vanilla. Girl, you were not in product development. You don't know what this is. You told them you wanted candles, and they sent you damn prototypes because Wendy gave you an idea, and you ran to jump on it as quick as possible. I agree with you, Alex. If she was looking on any type of candles, that would have been the perfect time to mention, I'm also working on candles. The fact that Karen said, well, that I didn't want to, that was Wendy's moment. Karen, stop lying.
No, I'm going to.
Wendy gave her an idea.
I'm here.
Wendy gave her an idea, but this is Karen's problem. Karen has hubris, right? Okay. Karen is never going to be, some people will give you an idea. Like, I'll be like, yo, for Alex, for the Erica Jane, I was like, I watched it. He did a great thing about Erica Jane and breaking down the charges. And I was like, I really liked your video. I'm inspired. I'm going to do something like that, but a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
Fine. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody, good job, I was inspired. Right. Karen will never give another person their due. What would it cost her just to be like, you know what? That's a good damn idea. I should do something for Ladam. What would it cost her? But she'll never do it. She'll never, ever, ever, ever do it.
Okay, can I say something here?
Yes, please.
So we know that when people, you have to move in silence, okay? If you give your business and say what you're doing, people will steal your idea. Let's assume Karen stole the idea. That was Wendy's mistake, just showing that how green she is in the business. She doesn't even have a business plan for
So let me get this
someone.
straight. A friend comes to you and says, I have this idea. You
No,
sit
I'm
there
not.
and say, oh, really? You're doing good. What's your business plan? Let's practice your pitch. And then you turn around and blame the person saying you should have moved in silence.
No, I'm blaming. I'm not blaming her. But then you say what you're gonna
silence your whole
do.
life. You're like, who does that?
Listen, that's not what I'm saying.
Mariam, let me just interrupt one more time, though. Let's not forget, let's just do a little prologue. You're saying this about a woman that talked about a perfume for 2 goddamn years before it actually hit the thing.
Yeah.
This is Miss, oh no, Karen just moves in silence, or Karen didn't want to say anything. Karen loves promoting her shit. And she was promoting La Dame long before.
Yeah.
So the fact that these candles magically came up after Wendy's conversation.
Magically came up. I think she has been working on them because I feel like, yes, Karen, you can say anything about her, but she's a smart businesswoman. And she did what I wish Sheree did with her line. She was promoting something before a fruition. She used the show. That was a smart business move. And I'm saying in general, when you want to do something, a business that's still like you don't even have a business plan or a budget plan or anybody investing in your business, you don't advertise it on
so then but that's not, to me, that's not the way business works, though. True, but sometimes you have to get your name out there. You got to get your stuff out there. Again, you're saying this with Karen, who promoted Grand Dame, a perfume, for 2 years before it got there. And you also believe that Ray at the Surrey County, getting the keys to Surrey County, wanted to say a few words and got up on that podium and was like, I just want to say thank you to the candles.
Lord.
You think Ray need a thing for candles? Girl.
Listen.
No, but Miss Tisa, I was going to say, Miss Tisa and Miss Mariam, you know what I would think is, y'all gave me a good idea. I hope Andy is watching, because wouldn't it be hysterical if one of those questions that Andy asked him said, okay, Karen, when did you put this business idea for Karen? I want to see the blueprint. You know how she get fumbled? That would be a good question at the reunion to say, okay, when let's break down, when did we put these ideas on paper? Let's see some receipts, basically. I would love that at the reunion.
Can I give you the example of Nene and the beef she had with Lisa Vanderpump? Because according to what Nene said, she said that she asked Lisa, she goes, oh, I see this storefront here. Wouldn't it be
West
nice?
Hollywood.
And then boom, Lisa went and got it to do either Sir or Tom Tom. So this is what I say, like when in business, you don't, unless you have a solid plan and everything, there's a contract and nobody can steal it from you, you don't say it.
Like, but then how do you get advice from people? Because
I get it, but they're not friends. That's my thing.
But Lisa didn't just say, just go and get it. Lisa then called Nene and said, listen, I had my people look into it. It's not a good thing. No, it's not in a good location.
That's my point. Nobody is real friends to anybody. But I don't think the candle came up magically, because Karen is talking about 3 weeks. I never knew there's a difference between 3 week and 1 week. I didn't know that. Like, it's crazy.
But you know what?
By the reunion,
but I think Miss Mariam, we got
and a 1 week candle.
Yeah.
But I think at the reunion we need the receipts. I can't wait for them to. It's not gonna be light shade. It's not gonna be too deep, because they have other stuff to do. But I would love to see Karen get fumbled and say, okay, Karen, show me the receipts. I want now Wendy and you put the papers down. I want to see when these dates come up. But let me see these receipts. I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that too. But Karen's a liar. I don't believe that y'all are falling for her bullshit. Mariam, I don't.
Wendy's full of bullshit in this one
on
too.
this. Have you?
Yeah. Wendy's a little dramatic. I agree with you, Miss Mariam. I don't know if everything is. I think that Wendy is a little dramatic, but oh my gosh, I think that it's very funny. This candle. I can't wait.
Can we talk about Wendy for a second, though?
Yeah.
Just because we're on the candle thing, I'm not understanding why Wendy came to the seat. Well, I think I do understand why she did it, but this scene with her and Eddie, where she's talking about her candle, and they're still
like sexy
trying to come up with, still trying to come up with a business plan, and she doesn't know how much it costs to make, and she doesn't know what her projections are. I'm just not buying it. Like, Wendy is someone with 3 or 4 degrees, someone who talks about all these things, and for her to come on the show, it just seems like she's dumbing herself down because she thinks that's going to make herself more likable. And I don't like that because she's way too smart for that. And I don't believe someone like Wendy, who came on the season like last season, who was raving about her degrees and how educated she is. I don't think she would come on the show without a plan where she's going to be on camera like looking stupid like she's been doing. I just don't.
Like maybe this is
I do think it's a
I'm trying
storyline.
to launch a candle. I want my husband to invest in it.
Yes, exactly.
This, that, and a third.
That's exactly what I think it is.
Yeah.
Can I make a prediction?
Yes.
Sheree Whitfield will launch her fashion line before Wendy launches her. Okay. That's my prediction on live.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. What is going on with my thing? I honestly think that Wendy is going to launch her candle line because candle lines are one of the it's not easy, but Mara Candle, we have Mara Candle in this chat. Mara, how hard is it? She has great candles, but Mara, tell us, how hard is it to launch a candle line, Mara?
Okay.
Her and Eddie, Mara said, her and Eddie see, and I'm like, it's no way she does not know about a business plan. I learned that in undergrad. But Mara, how hard is it to literally like upscale, right? To scale up, if you have the funds and you have the distribution, how hard is it to get the manufacturing done for the candles? Okay, it's not easy, but how long do you think Karen would have had to make? How long do you think Karen would have needed? And also, how long? Like, what is Wendy doing? Like in the candle industry? Like, is this all necessary? Her sitting there and giving business cards?
Well, let me tell you something. The candle industry, they do a lot of focus groups. I've been part of tons of them. You know, you make extra just by giving your 2 cents, right? So it's like it's a thought process. They come up with these concoctions of new scents. I don't think that Karen's candle was an overnight. I think what happened was between her and Ray said, oh my God, I'm doing candle. And she came for me for candle. And I wanted to do it as a surprise. Maybe this is why she didn't say, because she wanted her moment, because she likes to make grand announcements all the time. We know the La Grande Dame, where her name came from. So I think it was like really like a crisis mode. They didn't know what to do and it came off awkward AF. I'm not saying it wasn't. But just to compare Karen having already her candle like ready and Wendy not having a business plan for what? Is this the third scene that she's playing dumb with her husband? Like, come on, she will never.
Yeah, that was crazy. That wasn't, because the thing is, any person who's even 17 years old here in America can go to Google and say, what is a business plan? So it just seemed, but a person who's been in college for over 200 years, it seemed crazy that she would be, sitting around on a cast somewhere and saying, "Oh, well, how can you start something?" I think even kids who do like lemonade stands would have more common business sense than what she exhibited on the show, which is pretty crazy.
Well, just to interrupt here, we see Mara Candle Company has actually said it's not hard to manufacture if you're not hand making yourself. You just do a private label. She then goes on to say Karen is just paying the company to put a company to put La Dame label on it. Private label, right? She said it takes 1 week. Let me tell you something. Wendy playing stupid is whatever, but when Karen sniffed that candle and said, "Ooh, smells like vanilla," I was like, "Girl, you're just." Grand Dame probably has French vanilla, Tahitian vanilla, ocean breeze. What else? Fig. There's going to be a bergamot, and I'm just making up the candle things they say. There's going to be a bergamot and I don't know, like fireside wood or something like that. But no, I agree with you guys about Wendy. She is playing stupid. I think she's doing it for a storyline. But you know what? I'm not mad. I find it amusing. It's like, okay, Wendy. Okay, like I'm just sitting there.
Yeah.
But that's what's so crazy about this season too. That everything is. I mean, I think you all can see, and I love this conversation. So everything, the ladies. So Karen was wishy-washy. Giselle was too messy. Candace was too this. Wendy was too smart. So now they played opposite this year. Everything that the people who dragged them for last year, they're opposite this year, which is very, very, convenient.
I really think Wendy's trying to soften herself from the way she came off. This is why she's not mentioning her degrees at all.
Well, she's better than me. I would be mentioning those morning, noon, and night. And
Yeah, me
I
too.
would,
Absolutely.
I would be listening.
Exactly.
You can talk about Michael Darby's money. If you can talk about the Black Bill Gates, if you talk about Pastor Jamal, I would be talking about my degrees up and down. But I see from what happened with Giselle trying to body shame her, it's easy to back Wendy up and make her feel like, okay, I stepped too far. But again, it could be because she's trying to get a second season too, right? It could be a third season.
Yes.
It could be that. Now listen, I want to change topics too. What y'all think about Robin, Juan, over 100K, and Juan saying he wants a little girl? That over 100K in the construction thing, I literally was like, is this the same storyline from last season? Because it seems like it. But what do y'all think?
That was crazy. I was like, I watch HGTV all the time, and I've never fixed a house myself. But no way in hell would I have been over budget $100,000. That was just.
Well, no, that's the thing. I believe that they're over budget. I've actually been involved in renovations.
Okay.
And a lot of times what they do to unsavvy people, I have a lot of architect friends, so they put me down with this. When you go for renovations, right, the people will lowball you. You'll come in and let's just say your kitchen takes $100,000, right? To get the bid contract, they'll be like, oh, I can do it for $60,000. So you're like, oh, okay, I'll take you. Halfway through construction, they'll be like, listen, we're slow. We're going to have to show construction down. Can you just get more money, right? So construction will do that. That's why they always teach you there's a low ball, there's an ultra high, take someplace in the middle, and whatever your budget is for construction, double it, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So I believe that. I
believe that.
Remember this happened last season. So Robin, you already went through this once. So you already know not to take the lowest bid. You already know to double your budget. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you guys a question? I understand budget. They always say when you're renovating, double it. Not when you're building new and she's doing upgrades.
Same thing.
But even if she wasn't savvy, how usually married couples or people or partners, when they're going to go over budget, they talk about it. Was that the first conversation for her to tell Juan? So he wasn't, not only in that reunion that she said, thank God Juan is not here. So he wasn't there when she was like going up the budget till it came to $100,000?
No. But when you're doing construction, that 100,000 can come up in one day.
Yeah, but
let's just say for the towel, you're like, or even the kitchen, I want marble cap, I want marble counters, I want a marble island, right? They'll be like, yeah, I can get you a good thing on marble. Before you know it, the special copper pipes aren't there. Guess what? The marble guy sold out, but we have a different marble. We did the tile, and that's another thing. When they increase the budget, they don't just give it to you nickel and dime, because then you'll be like, what's going on? You get another contractor. Don't wait until it's a pivotal time. And they're halfway through to be like, you guys, we're under budget. And don't forget there's labor in it too. So there's under budget. They will push it up 100,000. I do believe that.
But the thing is, when you don't wait till it's $100,000 over budget, or this is when he finds out. Usually the over budget, like you increase in the cabinets, is here and there. They're not like Heather Dubrow and
That's
no,
true.
they tell you at one time, because if they do it once and then they do it twice, that's when you start looking for a new contractor. But if they tell you at one time, listen, these are the upgrades, then you're kind of stuck. What are you going to do? Fire them, get a new job, like a new contractor?
You don't agree with it. They have to have the green light. They say, hey, what you like is more than what you agreed on. Are you okay with it? And they have her sign. It's not like that. It's not a free fall. She didn't sign off her life. She still has to, especially when they're changing material or upgrading. Always the homeowner needs to be like, in agreement with it.
Well, Amanda actually put in that she said, remember, materials have doubled since the time of COVID. But also, maybe Robin's the one in charge of construction. Maybe Juan's like, this is your thing, I'll invest, but you handle all that stuff. Maybe Juan knows nothing about construction, so if it's an extra 100,000, Robin just okays it.
Well, you know what, Tisa, I was just about to ask you directly, because you spit in a lot of facts. I was going to say, but I was going to ask you, do you think that, just what you said, do you think that Juan was disengaging from the process? But thank you, Miss Mariam, that he was disengaging from the process of the construction. So when the scene came up, he was like, wait a minute, I trust you because you flip bullet. Sorry. Yeah, I trust you because you flip all these houses, but I'm shocked by this $100,000.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But I think he was disengaged because listen, both people can't be supervising a pot. Listen, maybe because again, in my relationship, my boyfriend, like, I'm in charge of decorating. Still haven't done that, right? But it's like I'm in charge of shit. He handles some stuff. Some stuff he handles, I just know everything's okay. If he talks to me about it, I'm like, oh, okay, so what happened? Just like when I'm talking to him about decorating stuff, I might be like, oh, these chairs are cold. And his eyes are glazing over like, so like when we get in furniture, what's going on? You know?
But
so
it's
I understand the conversation in relationships. Some people have certain stuff, other people have certain stuff. And it's like, why are you talking? I mean, I'll play along, but it's like, okay, your eyes just glaze over.
But it's a whole lot of money to be over budget, and he doesn't know. That's for me. And then he tells her,
house, though,
baby girl.
Is it though? I don't know. I don't know if it's
$1,000 over budget. When it's 10,000, this is when she tells, listen, I really like this marble, but it's 10,000 more. It's not like when it's 100,000 more. And then his comeback at her was like, I need a baby girl. Like, come on. That was weird.
It wasn't?
Yeah, he asked her for a baby girl. Like when they were talking about the house and being over.
You know what? Alex, what should I think? I didn't think that was weird. He was changing subject because he did not care. Rob is in charge of the flips. Rob is in charge of the house. Why are you talking about? Let's talk about my baby. So go on.
Yeah, I don't think it's weird either. I mean, Juan's been talking about a baby. Juan's someone who's just very nonchalant. He's not going to like get into like all these conversations with Robin over things like that. If she's over budget at this point, she's over budget. It is what it is. I mean, I don't look too much into it because even when you're building a home, it seems like they live in one of those communities where like you get like a layout and then pretty much every house has like the same kind of layout. But you do have to pay for your upgrades. Like if you have the basic model, but you want like different tile floor or whatever it is, it could be really expensive, especially if it's a big house. Like just a floor alone could be like $30,000. I got new floors in my house. It was like $15,000, $20,000.
It's crazy. And again, to Amanda's point, to back up what Alex is saying, materials have doubled since COVID. So you know what I'm saying? It's like maybe what they actually bought is like, well, we can't get that anymore. You're going to have to go cheaper.
Do you guys think that because Juan always wanted a baby girl, so he was like, oh, okay, so you're okay going over budget with the house, but when I ask for another kid, you wouldn't want because it's too much money? Maybe this is why he brought up the kid. I don't see how they could be related other than that. But I feel like $100,000 is way too much money to reach so that you tell your significant other. When you
might be right, but to Alex's point, Juan did not seem bothered at all. And again, it's kind of like if somebody told me something that didn't faze me, right? Okay, before somebody's like, it's going to be 100,000 extra, I'd be like, what? But if it didn't faze me, I would just move on to like, okay, so what we having dinner? Let's talk about the baby girl. Something that I want to talk about. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I didn't think it was that weird, but let's talk about, okay, let's go back.
I want to add one more thing to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
No one really ever talks about this. So Juan, I think he's still like a basketball coach or whatever. I'm pretty sure. Okay. To me, I think that right now Robin is the breadwinner. She has her embellished business. She's on Real Housewives. I think she's bringing in more money, so she has more say in like if they're going to spend X amount of money. I don't think he has that much control over it, and maybe that's why it's not a big deal to him because he knows that Robin is the one.
I wouldn't emasculate him, but
I'm not doing anything wrong with her making more money. She does make more money than him, and I think
she says she made $60,000 a month on her hats.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, that's more realistic. Maybe that's just what it is. I don't know.
I don't want to say it, but that's what I thought. Because I've seen that thing where somebody's like, oh, it's going to be 100K. And you're like, oh, word. So where are you going to go eat? It's like, exactly. She's in charge of the money. You'll figure that out. And he's just, it's like, because I felt that too. It's more like she was like complaining, like when you come home from a hard day at work, but the person can't really help you. But you still want to talk about it,
Right.
So he can be like, damn, shit's wild out there. So when you giving me a baby girl? So y'all be safe in these streets, Robin. That's what he gave her. You be safe out there in the streets. So listen,
Right.
I didn't want to, but we're going to have to talk about Ashley. Ew,
Yeah.
I do not like this mommy journey. I do not like the way she's overshare about her body. And I'm not even one that is easily grossed out. But it's just like, even the way the family was looking at her, like, ugh, this fantasy she has. Remember when her uncle, they showed the flashback to when he was sitting down with Michael and having a man-to-man, and Michael was sitting there smacking his teeth, chewing gum, rolling his eyes, and Ashley's just like, I think that went really well. Michael knows he has to be a better person, you know? It's kind of like the whole family knows that this old, rich leprosy patient is cheating on you. I'm serious. Ew, like just cheating on you. And you're the only thing you can do. Remember last episode when they were driving and, you know, Michael's like, you know, you're losing weight and that's a good thing. And I was just like, and you're sitting there. Yeah, I thought she was trying to gross Michael out so he wouldn't touch her at night. And I said, I can get behind that, right? That's a pretty novel scheme. But then when she was doing it in front of her family, I was like, wait, you're just that gross oversharer, the type when you're eating and they're talking about like them go like the time they had diarrhea. You're just like, oh my God, I can't take it.
You know, I think Ashley and Michael, what they're doing, it's like they're saying outrageous things just to deflect on their actual relationship and their issues and everything we've heard before. Like even them, I feel like they're doubling down on what they talk about so that nobody talks about what happened or what still happens or what will happen again. You know
What will
I mean?
happen? That's right.
Exactly. So I think Ashley's talking, she'd rather have us criticize her for this than for still being with Michael.
She thinks that's her storyline, talking about her bubble uterus.
Yeah.
She thinks that's going to distract us from finding Father Time on Grindr again.
Oh.
Good job, Ashley.
With the body shaming, that's a storyline. I'm being body shamed, and that goes along the line. That's
storyline until
Yeah.
Michael embarrasses
For her,
her.
probably. Yeah, she'd use anything. I think that Ashley, I've always said this, I think it just boggles my mind how hardcore Ashley is. I would love to analyze her one day to say, well, because she's such a beautiful woman, even though she has, you know, Kenneth describe everything about her that was negative. But I just don't understand why she, you know, it's almost like being married to these people, the Me Too movement people, basically all of the guys who went down. She's married to a person like this. And he basically got away with all his problems and attempts to be a predator to people. And she's still married to him. And it seems crazy and they're building a family. So it just, like you said, Mariam, I think they have such a dark relationship. To me, it's very dark. And that they rather just sort of shock you with body elements and all these other crazy, boring things.
Well, Alex, do you think it's dark or do you think that Ashley is just securing the bag?
I think that it's two things. I think that she's securing the bag, but I think that she's securing her bag to a person who is very disturbed. I would say.
Alex. Okay, I agree with you on that one. But Alex, what's your take on that? Because you've been watching for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I do think she's securing the bag because not only does he fund her lifestyle, we know that he was paying for her mom's rent and things like that. So she clearly needs the money. But I don't know. It's just so weird to me because I'm seeing a different side of her this season that she's always been gross, but I feel like she's kind of up a notch. And I don't know if she thinks like talking about these things is going to make her likable because I feel like she's going for like the angle of like, I'm a mother. So, you know, I'm going through all these things that like involve, you know, mothers go through all the time. And even when Candace was like body shaming her, she tried to make that about like her, like being a new mom. Like maybe that's like the angle she's trying to go for, but I just don't understand it because then she says things that I think she thinks are normal. Like, I think this episode she was like, you know, I didn't want to have like a beautiful nanny because I don't want Michael to have temptations. I'm just like, if you think your husband's going to have temptations, then clearly, what is it? Like, you don't trust him. Why are you even with him? Like, it does not make sense. And this is not the only time she said things like that. So I'm confused by her. I cannot stand her. I don't try to look too far into it. I try to skip her scenes if I can because it's just not making sense. It's honestly a waste of my time to even try to analyze it because
you know what? I don't think you're right about trying to analyze because the one thing I did actually think she's talking about she's a beautiful woman around Michael, but she's going out of her way to look like. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ashley's a cute girl, but she's going out of her way to look like crap. Like she looks like you know what I'm saying? Like no makeup, hair blown back, no edges. Like girl, get somebody with edge
storyline.
Like,
The
she's going
storyline.
out her way to
The
look
storyline.
like crap. And
She's
Mariam
committed
loves
to the storyline. That's
Look,
what's happening.
but to your point, Alex, and Mariam, I know you're saying a storyline, but to Alex's point, there is something going on. The only thing I chalked it up as was like it can't be analyzed, but I think they're still having as many marriage issues. But I think they agreed. Everybody just act like it's okay. Everybody just let's just act like it's okay. I think that's what's actually going on.
Since you guys are bringing up analysis, did we forget that Ashley has daddy issues and her dad rejected her not only all her life but also on camera? So I'm being put in a situation that sounds like I'm defending Ashley, but in that aspect, I understand her disturbing behavior and choices. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel bad for her.
But Mariam, I was gonna say this. Thank you for that. I was gonna say, and you remind me. So didn't she say her father, her Caucasian
like
father?
Michael.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, I forgot about that. That's
just
true.
like Michael. He does.
Wow.
It's really daddy complex. Like Ashley.
So her father who looks like Michael rejected her. And so this man who tried, who's okay, that's true. I forgot he looked like him.
She feels like Michael wants her and he is older than her. There's a lot of boxes that you can check there, that it's like she's projecting the image of someone who she always sought for approval and acknowledgement, and she never did. And here she has a guy that is married to her. For her, it's like, wow, he married me. In her head, maybe this is how she justifies. And this is because we can say anything about Ashley, but she's committed. Like, she doubles down. Yeah. She takes it on the chin.
She signed on for 5 more years before her premium can pay out. Of course, she doubled down. Like,
yeah,
of course,
and
she's
true. All of them. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of everything, but we can't forget that. Like, that was, I think, the ultimate humiliation, just like what happened with Kenya. And I'm not comparing both, because I am Captain Twirl. I'm Captain Twirl. I'm going to be voting number 2 tomorrow.
All right.
But I feel like we can't forget that. I think that's why.
Good point. Okay, so y'all ready to move over to Salt Lake City? Are we still
Yeah.
Yes.
Salt Lake City. Let's go.
Okay, let's go to Salt Lake City. All right. Jen feels microaggressions.
A lot of
Listen, what do y'all think about the Jen and the Brooks? You know what? Start off. What's your standout of Salt Lake City? Because don't get me wrong. This Salt Lake City is super, super amusing. I caught up. It's super amusing. It's good TV. Did a lot happen in this episode? No. The drama's building. But it was a really fun episode. I love the fact that Jen is going around making amends with everybody. Whitney, is that her name? Whitney?
Yeah, Whitney.
I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. There is something about her.
She's the messy one. She's the messy one of the group.
She's what?
She's the messy one of the group.
She's messy, but it's something even deeper. Like, you ever see when people smile at you, but their eyes are just like, that scares me. When people have that smile and you look at their eyes and you're like,
she didn't seem coherent to me. There was something off. But back to your first question, Brooks and Jen. It was like, I know Jen has like a criminal charge.
They accused Jen of outing Brooks. I mean,
yeah, I am like, nobody needs to out Brooks. It was obvious. Yes. First of all. Second, I feel like I'm sick and tired of these housewives that have their kids, adult kids, young but adult. They have to sign the consent. And then they have them on the show and they can say whatever they want, but they don't want to deal with the heat in the kitchen. And then they come to mom mode, which is fine. Defend your child. But if I was Meredith, like what I would do, I would, of course, stand by my son, of course, but I would raise my son, say, what you said was extremely inappropriate. And for that, you need to apologize. I never heard him say any apologies. And the way where Jen was sitting and where he was sitting, I don't know how he saw what he saw. I really don't know.
So you know what?
Wait. I gotta jump in though, because it was said, I think, I don't know if it was on the reunion, but they actually edited out the part where you actually see her actually flashing him, and it wasn't just him; the daughter saw it too. So I just
Oh,
want to put that out there. But to your point of, I mean, we all know Brooks is, well, I'm not gonna say we all know. I mean, it's pretty obvious to most of us that he's probably gay, probably. But at the same time, I don't really think that is Jen Shaw or even any of us. I don't think it's our place to write his story. If he wants to come out, let him come out. I think that yes, he was wrong for even commenting about her body parts. I thought he was super annoying. I still don't like Brooks. But liking one shade tweet is fine. But when you're doing it over and over again, and this guy has not even,
yeah.
like, it's at this point it's dead. Like, just dead situation. We had the reunion, let it go. She's still liking things, trying to be shady, and she's not just doing it to him. Like, we just found on the episode, she's doing it to Heather. She's doing it to literally all of them. So at this point, it's like I don't think that you can really justify what
I'm not
Jen's
just
doing.
trying
Yeah, well, I was gonna say too.
but,
I was gonna
I
say what.
think
Yeah,
she has to hold her son accountable for his
Right.
part too,
yeah.
because it feels this is where they give room for Jen to say this is it's double standard.
So I
Okay,
think this.
what
So
what
yeah,
she did is wrong. What she's doing is wrong. I'm not
yeah.
saying it's right, but my point is, okay, you are in this show. If you're going to say anything, you have to be ready for the lashback. That's
So
it.
I agree with a little bit. So this is what I think. I think I love him. Actually, I'm new to this show this year. So I watched it back, so I'm actually now getting into it this season. I love Meredith. I actually like her. And for me, what I would do if I was Meredith, I would say, okay, like you were saying, Mariam, I would take him off camera, and I would talk to my son off camera, but not sort of reprimand him on camera ever. Never, never, never. Then I would. So then Jen, to me, she's acting worse than an 18-year-old person, because here's the thing: you can't go back and forth with somebody. So I remember it was a season one. Again, I love Nene. So it was a season when Nene got Sheree together. She said, "Wait a minute, we on this show together. Please don't bring my kid in." And she read her down to her soul. So I think this is the thing. And for all moms, I'm not a mom, I'm not a father or anything, but I do believe my mother, God bless her, she was very protective of me. The mothers are very protective of their sons, especially their gay sons, and they will be mama bears if you try to mess with them or approach them. I think Brooks is messy up? Absolutely. He's a messy young man. He's a messy young man who's probably still discovering himself. He has his own truth and he's on his journey. But I think that it's not Jen's place to reprimand. I think that she has to talk to the mother, and she has to do to the mother. I think it gets a little sleazy. But we know Jen, and she has these issues, the legal issues. So she has a character issue. I think it gets real sleazy when you sort of go toe to toe with another person's child, no matter how old they are. It just is not appropriate.
What about the theory that who y'all think called the cops on Jen Shaw? Alex,
Meredith.
your thing.
Well, okay. If it was going to be one of the housewives, it would have been Meredith. But we have to understand this has been a case in the building for so long.
Heather?
I honestly don't think any of them really do. I think that the FBI already knew where they're going to be. They're filming a reality TV show. I don't think it's that hard for them to call production and say, this is where they're going to be. I mean, I don't think a housewife needs to do that. This is literally FBI involved. I mean, and the feds, like, they don't have to go through having a housewife.
Joe and Teresa, the people they knew called the feds on them. That's how they got taken down, though.
But I agree with Alex.
Down, but they're already building a case against Jen Shaw before any of this happened from filming.
She's the last shark to fall in Jen Shah's pyramid scheme. But my point is, like, if there was a housewife, I would say it's Heather, because Heather on Watch What Happens Live last week, she said they always knew that her business was unsavory, but not that it was illegal. And then she asked Andy, "Oh, is this live?" He goes, "Yeah." I feel like
she said that.
Oh wait,
yeah, she asked,
not
"Are we live?"
Not to cut you guys off, but they're saying in the chat that Meredith admitted it.
She did.
They're saying that Meredith admitted to calling the feds. That's what they're saying.
Wait, what?
She said they still got on Watch What Happened Live today. I didn't watch it. So
I think she was playing on that. I don't think she really meant that. She said, I think it was being sarcastic, but she said, "Oh, didn't I say don't come after my family?" She was being smart. I don't think it's Meredith. Jen Shah, there is an investigation for more than a decade against her.
Right. Well, you know what? I was going to say to Tisa, you asked at the beginning of how we felt about this season. So as a new viewer, I will say this. I didn't watch last season. I watched all the promotions and all the YouTube about Jen. So I said, who is this woman? Let me see. So last week, I was very emotional because I was watching Meredith. I don't know who she is. I'm like, I'm loving this woman. This episode, after it came right after Potomac, the energy on this episode was full throttle. And not that it was a big episode and like colorful, but the ladies are really invested in their grudges, which as a viewer, I'm really into. The fact that they all have, they all have their own corners. And they all like, this is what I believe in. Jen was getting real heated when she was talking to Lisa and the new lady. Like, you know, he talked about my privates. I'm like, what is going on? So I like when the characters on the show get really invested in a feud. So I like that. So Potomac, they are too scared of the heat from Twitter. And so like City, they angry with each other. They just mad with each other. I like that as a viewer. And also I feel like the ladies are a little more deeper with the emotions. So the emotions are really deep and it's going to really be sad and depressing because of whatever everything's happening. Yeah, that's just what I wanted to say about what I'm seeing. I'm a new viewer, so I'm really surprised how good it is.
Okay, so what was the standout scene for you guys for this show?
For me, was the reconciliation between Heather and
Me too.
Of Heather.
That's right.
And Jen, all of a sudden, like Heather, you
But
bashed
Jen annoyed me a little bit.
You bashed this woman last reunion, and now you've been crying over her, and now you just want to be friends with her again, and you were shaming Lisa for being friends with Jensha, and I feel like that's very disturbing. I don't trust Whitney, neither, especially Heather. I'm not a Heather fan. That's my controversy.
Heather's the blonde girl, right? Because here's the thing, they all look alike. They all have the same hair. They look alike.
I agree with Mariam about
used to be the Mormon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you something about Heather. Heather, I still have a bad taste in my mouth over in the first season when she was like, you know, I'm Mormon, but I'm supposed to be a good Mormon woman, but I break all the rules. I like rap music. I love black men and I love homosexuals. And I said, bitch, I'm like you at all. Literally, who puts black men, rap music, and then like, but I break all the rules. I know, what did she say? I do everything I'm not supposed to do. Everything that's bad. Rap music, black men, and homosexuals.
Oh, Lord.
There's something that she said that really bothered me so much when she pretends to be self-made. She is not self-made.
Well, she married a billionaire.
She got the hefty alimony from her ex-husband.
You know she is. You know how she has money because she is divorced. And she said, and I'm going to have this third slice of pie because they're not looking at my butt. They're looking at how much is in my thing. You could tell when somebody leaves a divorce and they leave with money because they don't feel the need to keep up and be a size 0. And I don't know how to describe it, but everybody I've seen that gets divorced that still has to like figure out like how they're gonna get their money. It's like they go into the dating scene. She doesn't look like that. She looks like she's comfortable. She has enough money, and she doesn't care about her appearance that much. If that makes any sense, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with you. I was going to say one thing what Mariam was saying. That scene at the end was interesting to me. Now, I'm not team Jen or Heather, but I will say Heather just seemed like, you know, you were saying codependent earlier. She seemed so needy for Jen in a way, because I couldn't have a friend in, you know, them to call me racist, whatever she was calling her. I couldn't have a friend. I wouldn't be begging for a kind of, you know, she was in a scene with Whitney, and she was like, "Oh well, she's just mistaken, and we as viewers know, no, she's not mistaken. She's actually, you know, have criminal activities and things."
But
so
to the point, Whitney didn't really say much because in like the hardcore Mormon religion, they believe that Black people are a cursed bloodline, right? There's a lot of racism in the Mormon church, and they do believe that Black people are cursed. And the darker you are, the more cursed. And that's why you're never going to have anything. And that's why Black people get treated bad. And this and that is God cursing them. When Heather was listening to what she was saying and Jen lives in Salt Lake City, I was like, I can believe that you're getting a lot of microaggressions. I can believe that people are being openly hostile and or racist to you. Jen is not Black, but she likes presenting as Black. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I can believe that was actually happening. That seemed genuine. And the fact that Heather was like, okay, but I don't do that. It's like, okay, so it's happening. I'm not saying it's a racist hotbed over there, but you get what I'm saying with the microaggressions and stuff. So that much I can believe.
Tons of microaggressions, but here's the thing. It's so like, it's very frustrating for me as a Muslim, like to have Jen Shah being under investigation and with like these allegations, with no accusations at this point of what she has done, because you know, it's hard. It's hard to make it, and then when you get there or to notoriety, oh, this is your shady business. That was like a punch in my face. I was so team Jen Shah when she first came in. You know, she was over the top. She was funny, but I never knew she was doing what she's doing.
So to that thing, I do have a video about Jen Shah coming out tomorrow, and y'all, she might actually be like on the more innocent side.
Really?
There's a chance the feds actually are picking on her. They don't have much of a case. They really, honestly don't. And they did a data dump of about 12 years of information. Anytime you see the feds legally doing that, well, anyway, I'll explain it in the video. But Alex, you have a legal background.
That's right.
The feds don't have that much. Don't have that much of a case, even against her. They didn't even plead any particulars. Literally, her thing was like, "I'm gonna need a bill of particulars." She didn't even. For anybody who doesn't know, a bill of particulars it's for double jeopardy, right? You don't want to be convicted of the same crime twice, but you actually don't even want to be tried for the same thing. So what they could do is, and they don't actually say, this is why we're getting you, because in 2010 this happened, in 2012, you could literally go through this whole trial, and then they can dig back into that evidence and be like, now we're bringing you on trial for something that happened in 2017. That's why they were like, no. What are you saying we did wrong? We don't want anything saying it over Iran. No. How do you see me being involved? How do you see me being the bad guy? And then you fight it. So that way, all this evidence that they dumped, which was like, what, for 12 years, they can never use that evidence again to go after you for anything else. The feds, I know the goddamn games feds play, they're literally playing in her face. Now, that's not to say that she didn't, but some of I read the court documents, some of the companies they even accuse her of actually being the head of, she was not even involved in. And other companies, when I looked at their corporate org chart, she was like listed as VP of communications. But if you're VP of communications and there were 2 or 3 other people that were on top, even some of the people that turned on her, how can you be the head? Do you see what I'm saying? And there's so much things the feds did that I was just like, and even to get the search warrant for the data and this and that, one of the officers lied about whether she was head of certain organizations in order to get the search warrant. There's a lot of shit going on, but the feds always, anyone that ever gets locked up by or arrested by the feds, my heart goes out to you, because what they do is they bleed you dry. The feds have this game that the American government can outspend you. So a lot of times they go after charges. They'll levy 30,000 charges. Maybe you'll be convicted of 2, but everybody always goes with the feds because it's like, no, people assume that you were wrong just because. I'm going to do a video about it, but I'm telling you, I thought it was like the Erica Girardi. No. And speaking of Erica Girardi, how is Jen Shah, and I keep saying this, how has she been arrested? And Tom Girardi is still out there playing to be number 12. Why are his partners still out? Jen Shah, again, I'm not saying that she's completely innocent, but the feds are really. Tom Girardi has been like, it's past a felony. He committed wire fraud. It was misuse of funds. He literally had to lie on his applications to get that loan, just like Joe and Teresa got put up in the feds thing. He's committed so many federal crimes at this point, and nobody's been arrested.
Remember
what Erica's busy playing make-believe about with her Tonka trucks being flipped over. I can't with them. I can't.
Remember what I told you when we went live the other night? Didn't I say that there are there's more than one justice system? Like everything that, like Jen Shah is a woman, what's his name? Tom is a man. He's white. She's black. She's converted to Islam. I'm not saying she is the epitome of what Islam is. Neither am I. I don't wear a veil, but I digress. So she has all these things, and she's a minority even in Utah. There's not much people of color there. And of course, she's treated differently in so many levels. And we have that man most likely got away pretending that he has dementia, and his wife on the show is laying down his defense, and she's being rewarded. She's gonna be in the season. we know how they roll. Just like today, Andy, he brought behind the bar, he brought Brooks, because it seems like he just started college, I think in New York City. Yeah, but yeah,
Pause.
of
Why
course
does
there's a
Brooks
soft
always
spot
have
for
permanent?
them.
Why
With
does Brooks' face look like that all the time, though? Just pause,
For
because
real.
he's always just looking so sour. Like you, he always looks so goddamn miserable. Like your daddy's rich, your mom's good looking. What is the goddamn problem? Like, God, what's the problem?
yeah, I feel like Meredith could have squashed this by talking to her son off camera, and this wouldn't have evolved.
No,
I'm not saying
listen,
it's anybody's
Mariam.
about anyone, but I feel like they're too entitled. Nobody can say anything about them, or else you're gonna get it. And and just she's being like hit from all. She's doing wrong, and people who do the same or worse are not treated
Yeah,
just
I
like.
agree
absolutely.
with you.
Absolutely.
But back to the Meredith thing. I think, now, you guys can let me know if I'm wrong. I think the real reason Meredith is so mad at Jen is, I think that even though we all looked at Brooks and made assumptions, I think Meredith was in that mother bubble where her and her husband really thought, like, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody
Right.
knows. I think the thing they're most mad about Jen is Jen shattered their illusion. Jen shattered their illusion.
I that could be very much like, but the parents know. I think they just didn't want it out. I think they thought it wasn't that obvious, but it was. Yeah, they have rose colored glasses. Maybe that's it. But I feel like there is a double standard to the way some housewives are treated. And we know that Andy, he promoted the shit out of those tracksuits. Meanwhile, he didn't let Whitney promote her skin stuff last season.
Speaking of Whitney, and
Okay.
that gross scene where she was begging for sex from her husband. Ah,
Horrible. That's terrible.
you know what he looks like? He reminds me of the way he talks, the way he looks. He reminds me a little bit of Bob Vance from Vance Refrigeration from The Office. I don't know why, but he reminds me of Bob Vance, right? But it's just weird the way she was like, I was like, this has to be a storyline.
That's her storyline.
It just seems so inauthentic. And he's like, well, there's a way we can go fix it. And she's like, ha, 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 ha. Just joking. Let's stay on the couch and hold hands. And so when he's building her business, she doesn't want Heather to be cool with Jen. Alex, since you've seen it since season 1, and again, I saw most of the episodes, but I want to get your thing because you've like actually been deep. Why do you think that she's trying to push that wedge between Heather and Jen?
I mean, if I was Whitney, I would be saying the same advice to Heather. Jen is not someone you can trust. I mean, if you go back to season 1, she treated everyone terribly. Like, she had issues with Meredith, she had issues with Whitney, she had issues with, like, literally every single person. Why would you want your family to then try to reconnect with her? Knowing that Heather is someone who is codependent, you know how that's going to go. Heather is just going to get walked all over again. And if that's my family, I'm not going to be like, okay, just that's fine, go do that. I'm going to be like, no. That's stupid. Like, why would you want to do that? This girl is calling you racist. She's calling you X, Y, and Z. Why would you want to go back to that? And I think that's really what I think it is. I think that they're family, so of course she's going to have her back. I mean, who wouldn't do that for their family member?
Wait, are they actually family?
They say they're cousins. I don't know.
They are like cousins. It's not for. I think
I'm gonna say so. 2 girls out of a Mormon legacy family. Like I was like, okay.
No, he's cousin. The husband, like her husband, is the one who's related somehow to Heather.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
so,
I would.
Right, so that's.
I would have said the same thing to Heather.
Let's just do this. So that's Heather, but we also got to do it. What's up with Mary Crosby? Why are the ladies not filming with Mary? Because Mary, to me, is some of the best TV. She's super entertaining. She's just funny. Even when she was walking around looking like a little dandelion with her little puff on top of her head, Mary is funny. Why are the other girls filming with her? And what do you feel about, like, I really got the vibes about the reason her son not being around is hitting her so much is because I don't know what's going on with Mary's marriage, but it seems like they are at a low point,
Yeah,
what do y'all think about the Mary? Why isn't she being shown? Why aren't the girls filming with her? What do y'all think about the storyline? Because I want more Mary. I find her hilarious.
Well, I was going to say, again, for me being kind of new, whatever, I thought she was adorable. I thought she was kooky. I thought her house looked very old. I mean, the carpet and everything else and looked pretty good. Looked like it was from the 1970s. But she was. Yeah, I like her mom scenes. And and even she had her cousin laughing. I thought that last week they did have a cute little scene at brunch or lunch. It was Mary and some of the other ladies, and they filmed with her. But they didn't do anything this week, so I don't think the people don't like her. Maybe Jen and some other people don't, but she seemed to be on good level with them, from what I see.
Yeah,
I think
but this is not. You go ahead. Go ahead.
as much as they want to make us believe that they accept everyone, I don't think they do. Doesn't matter how much money they have. Mary, she's like an eclectic hoarder in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
She, her house is full of stuff. Oh my God. And I agree with you. I think being on the show really caused the marriage to, it's in shambles at this point, I think. And the woman don't want, I think they, just like they heard about Jen, I think they heard about Mary and her church and the followings. And, there's a lot of rumors there too. So there's also,
honestly, what church doesn't have rumors? I mean,
I
I don't know where y'all live, but
because
like
they're black,
every church I've ever known is a cesspool of what the
but that's
F,
my
like.
point. You're just proving my point. Because she is from a minority, there's a different standard there. So
True.
they will listen to the rumors about the black church, but not about the Mormon church.
True.
Which we know what
Okay.
happens there. You know what I mean?
So
they're so entitled.
No, you're definitely on something there. That could be because she's not even Mormon. It's Episcopalian or whatever, right? Episcopalian, Italian. Somebody jump in. Anybody go to church in this thing? Everybody here is just like,
we have to be careful. She's gonna send Jesus after us.
Okay, so they're Episcopal. They're Christian, right?
They're Christian, honey. Christian, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Mormons. You're right. So she's not accepted, and she's on the
Pentecostal.
outside. And you're right. They will.
Pentecostal. That's it. Yes.
What are they?
Pentecostal.
I was way off. I'm like Episcopalian. Okay, so I see why she is the outsider. But I remember in the beginning for season 1, from what I remember, tell me if I'm wrong, Alex, Jen was always trying to isolate her and push her out. Right. And she was successful in icing Mary out.
I don't think
I don't think she was successful. I don't like the thing with Mary is even last season she didn't always film with the girls. There was a lot of times where she wasn't including the group scenes. I don't know if that was her choice. I don't think it's a situation where they're like, don't invite Mary. I don't think it's that. I think Mary has her own things going on, and I think everyone was saying, when Mary comes back this season, we want her like in every scene. But I think we might get the same what we saw last season. Like she wasn't present that much, and I don't know why that is. But I don't think it's because they're trying to ice her out. I think that she does have real friends on the show. I mean, obviously Jen Shaw's not one of them, but I don't think that she has really any riff with any of them aside from Jen.
There's a reason.
Okay.
She wasn't in every scene. A lot of housewives they film, but they're not secured the contract. So she was one of the friends of, and then after seeing the footage, this is when they brought her in as a full-time housewife. And most of the scenes at the beginning were not with her because she wasn't supposed to be a full-time housewife.
Really?
So, yeah, that's why she wasn't. Ken tried to ice her out. She was not successful.
Yeah, she was not.
Whitney and Meredith for her church there. No, they weren't successful. And because they went there, this is where I knew it was like knowing how microaggressive they are. I feel like they were coached by production. You guys have to go there because we need scenes with her. And this is where the scene came about in that restaurant, But she gave
they were vibing in that restaurant, though.
Oh, I love the rest.
The other girl, they were vibing. They were both tipsy drunk. They couldn't even keep their heads up, but they were vibing. Like
that was my favorite.
I want to come to your church. It's gonna be so cool. And Mary was like, "Oh my God, you have to come." They were drunk bonding and they were vibing. I don't know. I wish the best for Mary. I know. If you guys don't know, Alex and I and Brooke Ashley did a live on Alex's channel. Go ahead and check out AlexSalter's channel. Don't forget. They did it's AlexSalter TV, and we did a live, and Brooke was explaining how Mary's uncle had come on and said all this mess about how like Mary had been plotting to get the grandmother's fortune, which it's her family member, so I'm not gonna, but I'm always hesitant whenever a young girl marries somebody very much older, or a young guy marries somebody very much older. I'm always hesitant because I'm like, she might have been scheming, she might have been plotting, but honestly, how much scheming and plotting can a 17 or 18-year-old do for a goddamn 50-year-old man? Do you see what I'm saying? Or a 17-year-old man with a 50-year-old woman, at the end of the day, they see you coming. I do think that she has that thing about, like, I don't know. I know she's in a church. I'm not going to say she's a victim, but she just seems like a not tragic, but very, I don't know. Mary has that wild out zany look that makes you want to just be like, come here, babe. Like, you just want to protect her. There's something very, like, what do you call it? Vulnerable about her, you know? Something very fragile about Mary. And I love her fragility. Like, it's very fragile.
Bubble. She lives in a bubble, let's face it.
She lives in a bubble, but it's also like the way she told Jen, like, you know, you smell like hot. You smell like,
well,
you smell like hospital.
You know, I just want to say something. I'm not saying that Jen Shah represents Islam, but it's a fact. We never had someone claim to be or say they're Muslim in housewife history. I watched them all and I still do.
Like, no, the DC housewives, the Tariq and...
No, they were not.
The DC housewives they were a couple, they were Muslim, and they got...
No, I don't think he was Persian, but not necessarily.
I thought he was Muslim. He even had a Muslim name.
Well, yeah, but we have a lot of Black people have Muslim names.
Because their parents were Black Muslims. That didn't happen by accident.
Maybe, yeah. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Their parents were Black Muslims. It just didn't happen by
but
accident.
They never said they're Muslim. My point is, they never said, "Oh,
okay.
I'm Muslim, bitches. Salaam alaikum, bitches." No, nobody ever said that. Which is
okay. I can see that. She's openly, proudly Muslim. Like, she's not trying to be quiet.
She converted. You know, she's saying that she converted. So she was already a minority. She converted into a minority. And she has all these accusations against her. It's like the justice system that she's gonna get is treatment is very different from an entitled old white
I'll
man.
say this though, to her thing, she has till 2000. It was moved back, postponed to 2022. Partly, well, in large part because the evidence they submitted, her lawyer was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I can't go through this in 6 months, right?" Yeah. So it was moved and whatnot, but I'm actually interested to see, because I'll say one thing. I don't know how much it's charging, but her defense team is like top notch. They are on that shit. They are pushing every defense they possibly can. Some of them are a little kooky, but a lot of those defenses are super, super solid defenses. So I'm actually interested to actually see where things go. Last thing, what about, okay, so wait, we did some recap, right? Just to let you guys know, Alex and I are going to do spin-off recaps where it's like more detailed, more this, more this. Make sure you check out Alex's channel for reviews. I'm going to put a detailed review up too. This is where we talk and rant. This is every Sunday we're going to start doing this. Now, I'll try to get these same people back every Sunday, but they might tell me to kiss my butt, right? They might be like, kiss my butt, I'm not coming. So this is the very first Sunday. I want to thank everybody that actually showed up on the short notice. It's going to grow, and we're definitely going to have Alex and Mariam, of course, and of course Mel back for one of the afternoon lives or evening lives where we get, like, you know, a bunch of people in the lives, right? This will get a lot of replays. I know people are going to be watching this on replay like, what the hell? I'm here. But if you want a more detailed review, AlexSalter TV, and of course, you know, my review is going to be up too. Alex always posts his filming schedule every Sunday. We also have Mel, who is going to be starting his YouTube channel very soon as he figures out. And Mariam, we are waiting to get you up and running, but you can also follow Mariam by not paid by anybody on Instagram. I'm going to link everybody's channels.
I'm paid by myself and only me.
Well, I'm going to link everybody's channels and Instagrams in the bio, right? And also in the comments, so you guys can just click on them. I also shouted them out early on, so whether you guys are coming early or you're just coming in out, I just wanted to give that. So we're going to wrap things up in a little bit, just a few more questions. But before I did, I wanted to make sure for everybody joining us late that you guys know and rewinded, you guys will see a shout out in the beginning. So thoughts and takes, where do you think the season is? Oh, who is it? Brooke's mom. What's Brooke's mom's name?
Meredith.
Okay. So how do I say this delicately?
Uh-oh.
Do you think that Brooke inherited more than his looks from his dad? And that's why he's always traveling across the country and never lives in the house with her.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not being messy. I'm asking a genuine question.
Okay, so
Because
okay,
their
yeah.
marriage is a mystery to me. The way he's always gone. Yo, sorry, for everybody who didn't watch season 1, you have to watch season 1 because she went out to dinner with her husband and she thought it was just going to be a thing. And he came in pissy drunk, eyes red, and was like, let me see your phone. How come you don't talk to me? What's going on? He literally put her on blast, and her face when she looked at him, if she could have stabbed him in the eye with that fork, she would have. But when I see them together, I'm like, I don't want to start any mess. I want to be delicate about it. But I'm like, why don't you guys live in the same house? Why are you all traveling around? And she seems to have her own life and he leaves her alone with it for the most part. Or maybe he has a girlfriend on the side. He has something on the side. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
What do y'all think?
Since you brought this is what I feel like this is the real issue she has with Jen Shah. Jen Shah outed her that she had a boyfriend, which made obvious that they had an open relationship. That is the real issue between her and Jen Shah. Because Jen Shah, she told Whitney when they were working out that Heather, when they were working out, they said, when you don't get it at home, you're going to get it somewhere, right?
You know what? I forgot about that.
Yeah,
so dead on. That's the real issue. She blew up her spot and they have an open marriage. Okay.
I think this is the real issue. And I think their marriage is a facade. They kept it together just because so many couples, like, they think like business-wise and money-wise, it makes more sense to be like to keep married. Of course, he keeps traveling. Who would it's hard. I cannot believe for the life of me having that's 50% of the time with me. Now 50. Like, it was laughable for me last episode when Heather was telling her, it's not 100%, it's not 10%, it's 50%. Like, girl, this math in a marriage doesn't cut it. I feel like both of them have separate lives and they're okay with it, and they were pissed that it was outed by Jen Shah in season 1.
Wow, they have a house. I was going to say they have a house full of secrets. I mean, their son is sort of, questioning his life. So basically, Jen came along and she was disruptor to their family, and that's probably why she's so angry, because they had their own little, agreements, and she came along, clocked it, and she just exposed them.
That could be it. So maybe it's not the fact that he's in the closet. Yeah, he could just have it. They both agree to live their secret lives. And for whatever reason, for the family or for whatever, they're like, we're just going to keep things together and keep things on the low. But it was the worst kept secret. That would make sense.
That's right.
Alex, what's your thing on this?
I don't know. I'm going to have to disagree on this. I think that she said last season that prior to, I guess, her doing the show or whatever, she actually did used to move around a lot with him whenever he had to go to all these different states. So I don't think it's that. I don't know. I just don't see that. And I think that with the whole Jen Shah outing her about allegedly having a boyfriend, I think at the time they were separated, so I don't think that it would be that big of a deal if she had a boyfriend. I mean, she even said, like, we got to take time apart, and if we have to see other people, like, it is what it is. Maybe we'll find each other, we'll come back together if that's what happens, which that is what happened. I don't know. I don't know if I would believe that it's because they're seeing other people or something like that. I just don't see it. Maybe he really just has to travel a lot. And as you guys remember, last season he was literally trying to get her to come with him, and she was the one refusing. Like, no, I don't want. Like, I have my business here. If you have your business there, that's fine, but I'm not leaving. So it's not like he was like, I'm just out. Deuces. He wanted her to come with her, and she said, no, I'm not doing that. And I think in business, it can be very hard, and it can affect your marriage. I just think that's what it is. They need to find a balance. One of them needs to commit, go wherever he's going, or he needs to come back and do something in Salt Lake City or wherever they live.
Tissa, wasn't you who said that when you talk too much about something, it means you don't have it? You don't.
I believe so.
Yeah. So I think it was you. And, just seeing the way they were, like, the affection, the PDA that they showed in front of the camera today, that was for me very, they're rebranding themselves. I feel
Listen, I can't blame them because if y'all saw me and my man having a problem,
I know, but they were not doing that last season.
Would be down his throat just to be like, everything's great, everything's better than ever, you know?
No, I think, but they were not like that last season. This is why I said.
No, but I think that's why they're overcompensating. They know.
Yes.
You know what? It was overcompensating, but I'll tell you what though. You know, here's the thing I realized about Bravo, right? I would never do reality TV.
Exactly.
But also because like I'm naturally loud, like I'm naturally like in your face and I'm naturally just extra. You never know how you're going to come across on camera. And sometimes I feel like the producers are always so shady where they go out the way to play you or to make you look stupid. Do you know what I'm saying? They can literally make or break you. We see that by how Portia became the fan favorite, right? When there were plenty of other people. We saw that the way they took down Nene. We saw the way they turned Kenya into a villain, even though everyone that's met her in real life loves the hell out of her. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like just with the reality TV, they can just they can make anything they want. So when I see people playing it up or being too much, I try to cut them a little bit of slack because I'm like, you know, you just never know. That could have been the cameraman just being shady, filming from the wrong angle. So you're just like, okay, you know.
They never did that last season. I feel like for them, it was really, they didn't want that out in the show. They didn't want to. And she had to deal with that when Jen talked in the camera and she knew it made to the show. So the producer told her, hey, Jen told Heather, so you have to address it. So this is a real beef with Jen. She had to do something she didn't want to.
Those are both good things. Okay, so you guys, any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
Well, for me, I was going to say for me, since I'm like new to the franchise, I'm enjoying it. I just like the fact that the women are so invested in their feuds. I really like that they stay holding their grudges. Hope they don't solve them to the season finale because it makes the show interesting.
And delightfully petty grudges. Remember the thumbs up text? I love the pettiness of the grudges.
That's right.
I'm with you, Belle. I'm with you.
You know, I want to give a shout out to Lisa. Lisa, I love that. You know why? Because I'm going to say, she is the friend I always wish I had. Because I feel like it's so easy to be friends with the popular chick. I'm talking before all the allegations against Jen Shah.
True.
First season was, she was there as a friend. She was there. And for that, Lisa won my heart with her like tan in her hand, like at the reunion. I want a friend like Lisa Barlow. And I follow her on Instagram and she follows me. And I feel like she's the friend everyone needs.
I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm not feeling Lisa Barlow this season. I don't know what it is.
No, we gotta hear why.
Because it's so weird to me because when she came on the show, she had this friendship with Meredith of 10 years, but now it just seems like she can't even see her friend's point of view. Even if her and Jen have built some type of friendship and it's real, that's all I'm fine. But if you've been friends with someone for 10 years, that's your sister. It just seems like Lisa is not. She's trying to be neutral, but to me, it seems like she's taking Jen's side, and I don't like it. Because if you're my friend, you're supposed to be my friend. I get you can have other friendships, but if I'm telling you, I feel like somebody attacked my family, they talked about my marriage, and now they're going on Twitter to like tweet about my son. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's the thing I would want to have.
10 years of friend, you're family at that point. I know what you're saying.
Exactly.
It's like I expect the same loyalty I expect from my family.
To your point.
I'm also a Taurus. We're loyal, so that would never apply with me.
Remember, Lisa did not know that they were even separated. Jen did. So remember, I think Lisa was taken back thinking, I thought you were my sister and I don't know that. You're telling me after Jen knows? So there is that. I feel like that is what happened. And this is why Lisa is like, seems to be on Jen's sides more because she thought we were like sisters and you don't tell me? Like Jen knows and I don't? What type of sisterhood is that? Not really. I don't think so. I would feel like my friend of 10 years didn't really trust me to tell me.
Maybe she didn't want to burden her with that thing. I mean, honestly.
I would burden my friends. I want to tell you everything.
Honestly, if my friend was cheating on her husband, and I knew them for 10 years, I wouldn't want my friend to tell me. Like, don't put me in that situation. I don't want to know. Like, because
Right.
you
'Cause
think about it, she's
Lisa
probably
loves
friends
their
with the
family
husband
too.
too. I don't want to
Yes.
know. I
But
don't
she's
want to
friends
know.
with Lisa. Oh, she's friends with Meredith, not with Seth. I don't think there would be a problem there.
No, but if you
they're
know
really
them for 10 years, well, I'm just saying, listen, if somebody's cheating, please don't tell me. I don't want to be in that moral predicament.
Okay.
I don't want to know.
I won't tell you this.
I'll just be like, I'll just be like, no. She said she had another doctor's appointment. That's weird. Literally, I don't know. When the phone rang, what? Yeah, she's in the bathroom. Can't tell.
Knowledge is a burden. I agree with you. But my point is, if you really trust this woman and she's like your sister, she would be the one to know, not Jansha.
But here's the thing. To Alex's point, and I get your point, Mariam, right? It is odd, but to me, even after 10 years, again, maybe they were always frenemies and one of them didn't realize it. But even after 10 years, if you have a problem with me, why aren't you coming to me directly? After 10 years, like, you are my family. It could be a passive.
Yeah.
Also, aside from that, I believe this happened last season when Jen was spreading those rumors about allegedly cheating or whatever.
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Did I just ruin the chat?
No,
I think I did.
Oh, I can hear you.
Let's see.
Hear you.
Oh, what happened? She left.
She didn't leave us here. What happened?
Here. I don't think Meredith wasn't cheating. It seems they had an open relationship, people. That's what they had.
Well, no, I was gonna say that, when Jen was saying that, she's heard these rumors about, Meredith having a new man, she told Lisa this, and Lisa didn't even go and tell Meredith, like, this is your friend, this girl over here is telling all these rumors. If that was your friend, this happened before Meredith, she even knew that Meredith and her husband had separated, right? So Lisa had no reason not to go to her friend Meredith and say, hey, Jen's spreading all these rumors about your family, not one conversation.
She told Heather. She didn't tell Lisa. Lisa was told by Meredith when they were shopping separate, because Meredith already knew that Jen told Heather. So it wasn't that was not the sequence. The sequence was they were in New York together and Jen was there and she got hot and, with the guy and Jen was there.
But why? Before you go, because I want to get why. Was it like something like she wanted to get caught? She finally felt free. Why would you get hot and heavy with your, what do you call it? Your mister, I guess? With your mister. Why would you get hot and heavy with your side piece in front of a person first of all, you have a side piece. So already, what are you doing? Second of all, you're in public with them. 3, you're making out with them in front of somebody you don't even know if you can trust. Yeah, I know we laughed and stuff, but I don't know if I can trust you with my business. Why do you think she did? Maybe she wanted to get caught. Maybe that's it.
I think so. Or I think they had an open relationship, but she never knew then that she.
But if they had an open relationship, then Lisa would have known, though. Lisa would have known.
Yeah, but she didn't tell Lisa, which means she didn't really trust Lisa. This is why Lisa is hurt by Meredith. And she even said that in the reunion. She goes like, I was so surprised and shocked. I would expect Meredith to tell me everything. And clearly she didn't. So I feel like we are focused. We were not looking at the whole picture here. I feel like Lisa is really hurt by Meredith not telling her everything. Like she was the last one to know.
Sure, you're not just saying that because Lisa follows you on Twitter.
Follows me on
Lisa,
Instagram.
if you're
she said Instagram.
I don't know if she stopped, but personal. It's not paid by anyone. I think she follows me.
Yeah, that's an.
Yeah, we message each other. I really admired the way she stood by Jen, because it was the easy route was to attack Jen, like all the housewives do. Usually it's one in the hot seat.
I admire that too.
But you don't think that she deserved it? You don't think Jen deserved to be attacked for?
I do. I think everybody deserves a friend like that. I want a friend like that. Who wants to be my Lisa? I want to be.
Well, listen, I would love if you could talk to your friend Lisa, and I would love to have her on so she could tell her side of the story.
Yay.
Actually,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, but
I will try.
We're going to keep an eye on this because Lisa, Lisa, I do admire the way she's standing by Jen. However, if you're throwing a 10-year relationship away, even though she's standing by Jen now, I'm just wondering, is it going to stay that stable? Because people that are, that not, I don't want to call her wishy-washy, I'm sure she has her reasons, but it's almost like I always talk about, like Simon Nobadia. If somebody abandons one family, why do you think they wouldn't abandon the next one? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Right.
like a path. Like, I just don't understand. If you cheated on me, if you cheated with your last, why would I think you wouldn't cheat on me? It's like,
Yeah,
why?
but I think Lisa here, she thought she knew everything about Meredith. She thought
But
they
even
were
if you didn't,
close as
if you didn't, so you just burn it all to hell.
no, she's not burning it, but she's hurt, and it seems like that issue between them was not resolved. And we have,
True.
like, if it was me, I would be hurt. I'm like, damn, I tell you everything. It looks like you don't. Why? You don't trust me? That would be hurtful when I feel like you're like my sister, and you know what I mean? That's hurtful. I would take that to heart.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, well, that's why I say I'm loving and grudges. I'm loving and grudges. I can't wait
I'm
to see
loving
that
the
play
grudges.
out. But also, Meredith did say that she said she loves her, and that it's not too broken, and so it looked like it's on the mend. So
Well, we'll see that. So thank you everybody for coming. Let's end this on a positive note. We are praying for Heather and Lisa,
awesome.
to rebuild what has been broken.
Yay.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. This is the first one. The replays are going to be good. I'll put the links to everybody down in the description box and chat. You'll have them by the time you wake up. If you're watching the replay, AlexSalter. Alex, why don't you let them know what videos you have coming up this week and what days?
Oh yeah, perfect. So tomorrow night I should be having my Real House of Potomac recap. Tuesday night will be Salt Lake City, and then sometime Thursday it'll be Beverly Hills. And then Friday I do a live every single Friday at 7 p.m. So if you guys want to watch, it's just a fun time, but nothing too serious. We just drink, laugh, talk a bunch of shit about Real Housewives. Just have fun.
I've
So if you
been
guys
to
want to
his
catch
lives.
that
It's
every
super,
Friday.
super
cup
fun.
of tea.
Super laid back and low key, like nothing too serious.
Yes, he has the best lives. And Mariam and Mel, do you guys want to give a shout out to anything or?
Listen,
No,
I
well,
want to give, like, it's like, Tissa, you're like, even we don't see you, we feel your energy. So
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I want to say.
that's it.
So for me, I don't have any chance, but I want to just say this because I came in late. I found Tisa because of I was on YouTube and I found Alan's channel, and he had these beautiful goddesses on the panel, and then I ended up seeing her break the story of Bethany. I said I love Bethany, so I found Bethany, and then she said, "Well, who are you?" And you need to Instagram me. I said, "Of course." And she has been the sweetest. So right now we're getting the very fierce and powerful Miss Tisa. But when I was talking to her, sister woman, very sweet lady, she's generous.
Stop.
Very
Texting the
You
mail.
are
Stop. You're texting the
generous.
mail.
very generous lady, very generous. So it's been a pleasure to participate in this conversation. I'm excited for them personally, just for me being selfish. I'm very excited about Salt Lake because it's rare to have on Bravo where everything is not dried out and just totally overproduced. With them, they seem to be authentically mad. So that's really interesting to see. So I'm excited to be.
So
Right.
listen, Alex and Brooke recommended Salt Lake City, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I thought it was going to be like the Real Housewives of Dallas. I'm hooked on that show. I think this is going to be the Bravo new breakout star.
Yeah,
I hope
it is.
so.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Like, I don't see how anyone. No, don't get me wrong. I agree with Alex and Mariam. What all of you guys have been saying. Actually, Mel, you too. Beverly Hills is giving it's giving reality TV gold. This will be episodes we watch and laugh at for literally that dinner party scene. Bravo, but we're not gonna get into that. We'll do it a different live.
Can I ask something from you, creators? Can I make a request? I feel like Bethany's Rent Palooza deserves a recap. I listened to that 3 times. It's like, this is why I miss Bethany. I don't miss her being a housewife. I miss her ranting and talking about what they do and analyzing them.
That's what me. Yeah, that was. So that you talking about the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what me. That was how I first communicated. That's how I first connected with Miss Tisa, and we had a wonderful conversation. She read her energy, her horoscope. I mean, it was unbelievable.
No, you know what? Actually, definitely. I'm going to do a recap on that. And tomorrow, Mel's joining me. You guys are also welcome to join, but I'm actually going to do a live. It's going to be more viewers. So yeah, it'll be in the middle of the day. More live viewers, but I'm doing a live on the Real Housewives of New York City, the cancellation, and also what's going on with Bravo and like their whole little, I don't know, they have an issue with inclusion. They have an issue with inclusion, you know? That's all I'm going to say. So we're going to do that, break it down, and break out the Real Housewives of New York City, its rise and its fall. Spoiler alert, I just think that casual racial insensitive, I just don't think it's funny anymore. And I think the most of America is like, yeah, after we had our last president, it's just not funny anymore. But anyway, you guys, there'll be stuff in the description box. Go ahead and follow. And thank you so much for joining me, you guys, all right?
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.